I don't know about you guys. I don't like great equalizers where it changes what otherwise would happen. And on a day where, and we've been out here for it, Coach Lou and Joe, where the wind is so unbelievable in this game, both in Absecon and Holy Spirit at Burn Stadium or here at Eisenstein Stadium, where the weather can actually change, even the outcome. Today, I think it's going to be one on the field, and I think it's pretty even in terms of how the teams should be able to respond to the playing conditions.
I alluded to it earlier. We used to have this expression: the coach with the chalk glass usually wins. So the guys who's making changes say, well, if you do that, we're going to do this. Well, if you do that, we'll do that. So with this wind, there has to be a lot of changes, and the coach has to keep an open mind about how things are going.
Sometimes halftime adjustments, I'm always impressed at how a team can come out and play one way for 2 quarters, and then you have that opportunity to coach at the halftime break, and then it can be a whole different situation come the third quarter and the fourth quarter.
Absolutely, and a lot of times the fans will get into it to say, Coach, why are you doing that? Why aren't you throwing the ball? And so you just have to block that kind of stuff out.
Well, sometimes people ask, why can't these adjustments happen during the actual first half? Why do these adjustments happen at halftime? Because the play clock is going. You don't have the time to sit the whole team down and to draw some of the things that you can draw. So when you have that uninterrupted time, that quality time to be able to make certain key adjustments and put them into play, that's why that happens.
It really does. And Joe, I'm sure in your experience watching games and doing a lot, I bet you pick up a lot of times tendencies that you could almost tell the coach.
Oh, sure. I think we all could do that. It's easy to be the Monday morning quarterback or coach. As a coach, how fast do these games go by as you're on the sideline, as you're calling play after play?
They usually goes by pretty fast, and you don't get second chances too often, so you have to make sure you're trying to make the right decision.
And guys, I want to give a shout out to Mike McGarry from the Press of Atlantic City. We know we're at the right game if Mike McGarry, who has been there and is the dean of high school sports, and he can pick any game he wants to be at, he picked our game. So a shout out to Mike McGarry. Does a great job.
Yeah, I read all his summaries of all the games that are being done today. Very good job.
It's exciting. It's Thanksgiving. Let me bring this up. It's something we brought up to Frank Campo yesterday during our interview that we do every year the day before the game, and I think it's a really important talking point, guys. I have been a staunch defender of keeping the Thanksgiving Day game my entire lifetime, and Coach Lou has a lot of experience in this area. Joe, I know you're familiar with it, and Joe has lived in other areas besides Atlantic County, South Jersey, and he knows that in different parts of the country, there is no Thanksgiving rivalry.
There's no Thanksgiving football.
Yeah, it's just not something that happens. And guys, I couldn't get Campo to admit it because certain information is embargoed, but I can do math. And the NJSIA right now, these Thanksgiving Day games, I believe, are at risk.
I would certainly agree with that, Harry. And as I mentioned before, you go to other parts of the country, they're not playing. They're watching the Lions and they're watching the Cowboys on Thanksgiving morning.
And think about it, guys. We see it here from the broadcast booth. You will see the community come out, people that see each other once a year,
right.
People that come home only this time of year for Thanksgiving, maybe the only time they come back home. One year, we actually looked out in terms of interviews even that we did, and we counted something like 4 or 5 generations of fans that were at the game. That's how deep-rooted this tradition is, and it must remain.
Harry, you talked about it in the pregame about the families who have had members on both sides of the field, whether they're cheerleaders, players, coaches.
I'm one of them.
Sometimes both at the same time.
Yeah, that's true.
And you don't see this even in other areas here in Atlantic County. This is a very special game.
I'm a graduate of Atlantic City High School. 2 of our daughters are graduates of Holy Spirit High School. I'm a former volunteer coach with Holy Spirit High School, and this is not unique to me. This is a very common thing where people have this spillover loyalty. Coach Lou, a graduate of Atlantic City High School, championship head coach of Holy Spirit High School. Talk about it, Lou.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And yesterday I bumped into one of my former coordinators, Frank Finnegy, an offensive coordinator, and he comes with his group every year, and they sit on that side of the stadium where the Holy Spirit are. So because I said to him, you want to come over and we'll talk a little bit? He said, oh no, I'm staying with my people over here.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome to our pregame show Atlantic City's Board of Education member, John Devlin, a dear friend of mine, Atlantic City police officer extraordinaire as well. John, happy Thanksgiving. Derek Cason, thank you for all you do. We're in the warm booth. Derek is going up a ladder to the roof. Derek, all right, give us a shout-out up there.
Good morning, Harry. Pleasure to be here. It's a great day of Thanksgiving. We're happy to be here. Field looks great. As always, you're handling the mic and doing a great job.
How's everything going, John? And how do you feel as a member of the board to see a stadium with a gorgeous professional type turf field, how beautiful it is to aesthetically pleasing, and how well it plays?
This is the first time I really got a chance to look at it from this standpoint. I'll tell you, it's really amazing, and it was worth every penny. And thank God we had the opportunity to bring it here. And great for the players, great for the community, and great for Thanksgiving.
Councilman Tim Mancuso, welcome to our broadcast. 6th Ward Councilman. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, Harry. How are you?
Very, very well.
Coach Paluti right here. You know, Coach actually coached me for the first 2 years, my freshman and sophomore year. And he had me running as a fullback because my older brother was a fullback. And he stuck me in a big game right there. And I didn't hit the hole, and I came out of the game. And then he put me as a guard after that.
Coach, you can talk about Tim Mancuso, one of the best running backs in Cape Atlantic League history.
Absolutely.
Well, I think, if Coach Gallagher was my coach, and we had a big game against Atlantic City, a big game. But Coach actually, I think, would have ran the fullback a little bit more. But now my older brother, Nick, who was a fullback, and he had to trade up with Rick Guerreri, Nick didn't get the ball that much. And Rick used to get the ball a lot. So we always had that controversy that I got the ball, Nick didn't.
Tim, you're good with the X's and O's. You know Atlantic City, I think you'll agree, very deceiving 4 and 5. I mean, if you saw them play against the number 1 seed in the largest group in the state, Group 5 Eastern, and literally 4 yards away from beating them in the NJSIA playoffs, they showed they can play with any team. Your thoughts about today's matchup?
It's going to be a good matchup. I think Atlantic City with their speed, they got to use their speed. They got to hit the corners with the passing game. They got the height with they're like basketball players, so they throw the ball up, they come down with the rebound. They got to use their speed on the outside. On defense, I think they got to come in on angles. They got to they come in every gap and shut Holy Spirit down. Can't allow them to get that running game going. The linemen start controlling the line of scrimmage. AC has to stop them, get them like 3rd and long. Spirit's not used to that. I'm kind of like in the middle here because I played for Spirit. I coached there for a number of years, but now I'm Atlantic City. The AC wrestling coach, head wrestling coach. You can see I got my AC gear on, so I'm pulling for AC, and I'm trying to get Speedy Marsh's kid to wrestle for me for heavyweight, that big 6'5", 300-pounder out there.
Fantastic. Tim, we were just talking about this. We're with Councilman Tim Mancuso, Atlantic City's terrific 6th Ward Councilman, Joe Kelly, Coach Lou, and I. We were just chatting about all the crossover loyalty that we have between going to one school, and coaching at another, and all these things. It seems to be everywhere.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's actually funny. But look at this field. Isn't that field fantastic? I mean, where else can you have a field in high school like that? And that's going to be a big recruiting thing. I think a lot of kids are going to see this field, and they're going to start coming back over to AC. I know Spirit, when I was at Spirit, Billy Walsh and all, they were talking about a turf field, and it's actually cheaper in the long run because you can get all 3 soccer teams playing on it, all 3 field hockey teams, girls and boys soccer team can play on it. And, if you're on a soccer parent or a field hockey parent, your kid playing on a field like that, I mean, that's what you want them to play on.
Yeah, it's funny. I just want to say one thing, Harry, about Mancuso and stuff. There were some players, when you get into a game, they say, "Coach, give me the ball, give me the ball." Other guys were saying, "Coach, you want me to run the ball on that play?" Coach, they say, "Give me the ball, Coach, give me the ball." It was always a positive for coaches.
Let me ask you to put your old hat on as a player for Holy Spirit, because you gave the good X's and O's with Atlantic City and the keys to the game from their perspective. Here's Holy Spirit on deck to probably win a 4th straight state championship. It's almost unheard of. That's incredible. This yet isn't a game you can't look past, or they could actually get beat today. Your thoughts about what Holy Spirit has to do to take care of their business?
Well, Spirit has to control the line of scrimmage. They have that huge offensive line. Ray Ellis' kids there, and that's what they're going to do. Defensive-wise, they got to shut down AC. Basically, ball control, keep the ball out of Atlantic City's hands, and score points. This is going to be interesting for Spirit because they need a big year for their recruitment. Their recruiting class is small this year. You got St. Augie, you got Roman out there, and Mark Reardon. They're trying to recruit here, Atlantic City with the new field. So Spirit's got to do real well. This new coach, he's really not from here, but he's a great guy. But he's got to continue to recruit and bring kids out there. So it's real important for Spirit to do well and continue their success.
I think I speak for the whole broadcast crew, Joe Kelly, Coach Lou, myself. Value-added analysis from Councilman Mancuso. One shop question. January 1st, there will be a new mayor of Atlantic City. The election shocked many. The city council, obviously, is 9-0 Democrat. The new mayor will be Republican. What are your thoughts about working with a new mayor?
Hey, listen, I've worked with 5 different mayors. It's just like a football team. You get a new quarterback in there, you're playing to win. And so we got a new mayor in there. We're playing to win. I love my city. I'm born and raised here in Atlantic City, and we're all about making Atlantic City work right. And I know all the other council members I spoke with. We're all about AC. And again, a football comparison. One quarterback comes out, we got a brand new quarterback. We're playing to win, baby.
Eagles are winning right now with Nick Foles.
I'm a Raiders fan.
I mean, it's incredible. Who would have thought? I mean, Nick Foles is playing like Joe Montana. Councilman Mancuso, thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours.
My pleasure. Coach Paluti, he's the best right there. Coach Gallagher also is one of my favorites. Coach Kelly down there, fantastic job. Thanks.
And John Devlin, keep up your great work on the Board of Education, my friend.
Thank you, Harry. I just want to, in closing, it's hard to follow Mancuso because he has such a big mouth, but
Wasn't that great analysis, though?
my God, I thought this is my interview. He acts like he's running for office or something. Now, quickly, we're in Jack Eisenstein's stadium, and I had the opportunity to actually meet him, and I voted on dedicating this stadium to him, and it was a real pleasure. I told you, and it's kind of like breaking news, that along with a few other board members, we're looking to dedicate the scoreboard to Frank Campo for his 40-plus years of service to the school board of Atlantic City. So that's something I can break here first with you, and when we vote on it in the future, you'll be the first to know.
John, you know how I, as Hurley in the morning, love breaking news on WPG, Talk Radio 1450. I can't wait to see Campo because now it's been said publicly. I kept the secret. I kept the secret. But what a deserving man. 43 years that he has given to this school. And to think that his name will be atop that scoreboard is a beautiful, beautiful gesture, John.
I agree. And he dedicated his life. I mean, I was one of the board members that was influential in bringing the wrestling program back here. And for those that don't know, Frank was a collegiate wrestler. But I think in his latter years, he turned to basketball, and Atlantic City was such a football, basketball powerhouse, they forgot about wrestling. So I brought him back. Everybody thought I was going to butt heads with him, but he, being the leader he really helped me and guided me in the right direction as far as bringing a wrestling team here, and we have a successful wrestling team as well. So hats off to him. It'll be something next year when we're looking out there, we'll have his name, and it'll be dedicated to him.
Thank you, John. Keep in touch, my friend.
Pleasure. Be safe. God bless everybody.
Well,
Guys, we're even breaking news on Thanksgiving.
that sounds like a great honor. And what you talked about with Frank Campo just says what kind of guy he is. The fact that he was out here 7 and 8 o'clock this morning breaking up the ice.
And Joe, I'm so happy you just brought that up because I would have forgotten about that for the rest of the broadcast. Campo is so modest. The moment I complimented him, he said yes, and the security and all that helped pour salt down. I arrived. He had one of those blades. I don't know if they're called a spade or whatever they're called. A huge metal on a wooden pole, just pick of some kind, breaking thick ice. He wasn't putting salt down. He was breaking huge pieces of ice so that patrons coming to the game would not slip and be hurt. It's the kind of guy he is. What a deserving thing. So right now it says the home of the Vikings, and above it, it's going to have Frank Campo, and he is so modest, he's not going to believe that this is happening. He's not going to believe it. Ladies and gentlemen, not a moment too soon because kickoff is in 8 minutes. Our colleague from 97.3 ESPN, Mike Gill. Hello, Mike. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you guys.
Need to wear a heavier coat next time.
The town square didn't supply enough warmth here. No, I'm okay. I knew I was coming up here, so. Sorry, walking up these bleachers. I'm out of shape, man.
It's okay. This game to me today, with one team 10-0 and one team 4-5, would tell you that a blowout is about to happen. I just have a sneaky suspicion that's not going to be the case.
I think Holy Spirit's in an interesting spot because they play next week against the number 2 team in the state or a top 5 team in the state. So how are they going to approach this game? I know it's a big rivalry, but for them to win 4 straight state championships has got to be in their mind. They're missing a corner today. He was ejected in the last game, so he's out. One of their better corners, Harris. Do they want to get guys hurt? How much are they going to play them? So I think that's all interesting side note to this game. We know it's a big rivalry, but 4 straight state championships kind of unprecedented. Which one's bigger?
I agree. And then that could make you look past something like this, but it would be at their peril because here's a team that just about beat Eastern the last time they took the field, 4 yards away from the big upset of the NJSIA playoff season.
Well, we know one thing about Atlantic City. They have been the one public school that says, we'll play anybody. We'll play Holy Spirit. We'll play St. Joe's. We'll play St. Augustine. They're not one of the teams that's trying to finagle their way out of playing these type of games. They want to play these type of games. They have this field to get players here so that they can compete in these kind of games. And, obviously this is a kind of tool that there's kids in this crowd today that play for the Pirates, that play for the Dolphins, that play for Brigantine Rams that might decide this is the game that I'm going to pick where I'm going to go to high school next year on.
And Mike Gill, Atlantic City is not the team that lost to Millville earlier in the season. They gave Eastern a much better game than Millville did. This is a team of many sophomores playing against a team of 26 seniors, and they're playing their way into becoming now veterans. I think this game has the potential to be very, very good.
Well, when they entered the year, we knew there was going to be a lot of sophomores and younger players playing right away. And I think one of the things that Thomas Kelly has done that has helped with this program is the off-season workouts and the organization that he brings to get these guys to become almost juniors faster. And, they lost their quarterback. They lost a team that went to the state semifinals last year. And for them to come back and compete virtually week in and week out is a testament to the coaching staff, but also the players that work hard. To get these kids in Atlantic City, Ventnor, Margate to come together, Brigantine, it's hard to do that to get these kids all to come together. Whereas if you're in Egg Harbor Township, you're all Egg Harbor Township kids. You grew up playing together. You're trying to mesh kids from different areas and put them together when they're working on the beaches, they're lifeguards, they're delivering pizzas or whatever. They're not driving yet, but they might ride a bike,
And Iannucci has done a phenomenal job in his second year, and you got to tip your cap to Coach Kelly because he followed a legend in Bobby Weiss, and he has been very successful as head coach of Atlantic City.
He has, and you mentioned Coach Iannucci. He's in a similar spot where he's got to get kids to come in there, but 9 times out of 10, that kid wants to go there. Coach Kelly's trying to convince them that they should be here as opposed to going to Holy Spirit because Holy Spirit's playing for 4 straight state championships. But I think that's what makes Coach Kelly, and I've talked to him a lot of times about the organization that they've created in the offseason. And from listening to him, it sounds to me, when Coach Weiss was here, that wasn't a big, very prevalent. I played when Coach Weiss was here against Coach Weiss. We didn't do the workouts in the summer quite as if we came in once or twice a week. We were doing a lot, and of course, that is something that is almost a requirement now. If you're not here lifting the weights and doing that off-season workouts, you're not playing. And I think that's something that Coach Kelly has kind of brought to Atlantic City now.
We're about 4 minutes from the official kickoff time. There is a chance it will go off as late as 10:15. There was a pregame activity that may or may not take place. It looks like it'll start a little bit after 10 o'clock at this point. We have Mike Gill from 97.3 ESPN, Town Square Media's Mike Gill. Joe Kelly or Coach Lou, anything for Mike?
Actually, for Mike a little bit, and for Councilman Mancuso, both of you mentioned this a little bit. Right? Recruiting in high school sports, that's not allowed, is it?
It is illegal, so I just let that word slip by. It is literally not permitted by the rules.
It is not. And, I had a conversation with Coach Weiss one time. I was at ShopRite in Summers Point, and I just ran into him, and I asked him how many more years he was going to do it. And he said, you know what? He didn't use the word, but he said, I'm just not able to go out to see the Pirates play and the Dolphins play and the Rams play. I can't get to all these games, and I'm just not going to do it. It's so.
But let's say something. Let's say something about Joe Kelly's comment, and I love the way you brought it up, Joe, because if anybody out there believes that recruiting is not happening,
right? Exactly.
Okay, let's be real. So you literally cannot do it. You cannot say you do it. But come on, it's happening. It's happening in track. It's happening in cross country. It's happening in football. It's happening.
Well, and keep in mind now, though, the public schools are trying to get their way into it because they're opening up these choice schools.
Right.
So a kid from Margate and Ventnor can now say, I want to go to Ocean City and play. You're going to start seeing more and more of that happening to the point where it's going to get ugly, where you got three kids from Margate, one decides he wants to go to mainland, so you're only getting me. If the other two are coming with me, it's going to start to get a little upside down and out of control, and we'll see what ends up happening with that, because pretty soon that's going to be the norm, is kids from Hamilton going to Ocean City kid going to Cedar Creek. That's going to start happening.
Harry, one of the things that happens too is the record and how many kids go on to college and how well they do academically. So it's not just the sport, it's academic and the sports, and then how many go on to college, and that attracts recruiting without even going out for it.
That's so well said, and that's why I have so much respect for the programs that have been able to win that are so restricted. When you look at some of these schools that can pull from anywhere, and it's almost impossible to compete against. And then you're Atlantic City having success in basketball and in girls swimming and in football and in all these different sports where they have had great success. When your pool of clients is Ventnor, Margate, Longport, Brigantine, and Atlantic City. That's it.
Well, and I think a lot of you look at Ocean City girls field hockey, always good. They've got good young programs. That's the way it works. In certain areas, certain sports there's more emphasis on it. In this area here, obviously basketball in Atlantic City is an emphasis. There's not as much of an emphasis on baseball. You get the right coach, though. Coach Bean comes into Atlantic City all of a sudden, and he does the summer programs. He travels with the team. Guess what? The baseball program starts to compete now. You have to have the right people in place, and it's not easy because you don't get paid a lot to do it. But if you have the right guy in place, a kid who decides, will I go to Holy Spirit or I go to Atlanta? I like that coach at Atlanta. I'm going to stay here. You got to have the right guy to make you want to stay, and that starts having, Coach Bean. I coach baseball. He comes to my games. He comes down to my games in Ventnor and talks to me and talks to the players and stuff because he knows how important it is.
It's exactly 10 o'clock, and kickoff will be in just moments. You raise a really good point, whether it's Dave Pfeiffer at Holy Spirit and the success he has had for more than 35 years as head track and cross-country coach, and generations of people who love running for him because he's such a great coach. Or Billy Howarth comes into Atlantic City, who was a great state champion himself. He takes over the girls swimming program, and they get people like Colleen Callahan win 9 state championships from her freshman to senior year. Who the coach is really does matter.
It really does, and that person, because they become minor celebrities almost, as the ability to teach these kids, and like Coach Paluti said, get them to college too. Is the coach able to get the kids to college? Is that one of his focuses, or is he here just because he wants to win? He's got to make those calls, and if the kids know that coach is making the calls to get them to college, that's a big help too. And probably know that, Joe. You have a son.
Sure. Having a son who plays another sport, it's certainly something you look at. If your kid wants to continue playing sports, if your kid wants to get to a good school, whether or not to play sports, you want to be able to have a coach that can help them along the way.
Absolutely, Joe. Before we turn it over to our play-by-play man, Joe Kelly, Mike, give us 30 seconds on each team. Keys to the game for Atlantic City, keys to the game for Holy Spirit.
Well, Atlantic City likes to throw, and you've been out there. It's a little windy. They'll throw the ball probably 80 to 90% of the time if they could. I'm interested to see what they do with this weather. I heard Coach Paluti on my way over here saying you have a game plan, but if it's not the weather for it, you might have to change it in the middle. I'm going to see if Atlantic City changes on the fly here. But if they can throw the ball today, Holy Spirit doesn't see a lot of passing, but they're very, very good against the run. And Holy Spirit, this is perfect weather for them. They will run. Get ready, Joe. 95% of the time. So they will run.
Every which way.
Every which way. Atlantic City. I think the game actually, Holy Spirit, because they run so much, it'll probably be closer than people think. I think probably Holy Spirit wins 28-7-ish in that range.
And the point that you made is something we talked about in the beginning of the pregame show, Mike, and that is on a windy day, it affects Atlantic City's passing game. It doesn't affect Holy Spirit's running game at all.
No, and Holy Spirit defensively, very stout, very big. Watch 24, Franco Raffici, smallest kid on the field. He'll make the most plays. The kid Dawson in the secondary is very, very good. So Atlantic City, what they like to do, Holy Spirit doesn't see a whole heck of a lot, but they're very equipped to handle it.
Mike Gill, Sports Bash with Mike Gill. That's weekdays, afternoon drive on 97.3 ESPN, Town Square Media. Great to be with you, Mike. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you too. Thanks, Joe.
Happy Thanksgiving, Mike.
Joe, we have a few minutes before the game begins. We had mentioned all morning long that game time might be 10. It might be more like 10:15. And so we're at the 10:02, 10:03 mark now. So it's going to be a few minutes before the game. Thoughts before kickoff?
I think what Mike said is certainly correct. Holy Spirit is going to be moving the ball no matter what the weather is. Atlantic City is going to have to find a way to stop that. And Atlantic City, whether they alter their game plan or they get with the passing game, which certainly is planned, it's going to be tough for Atlantic City to defend against this Holy Spirit running machine, we might say today.
Coach Lou Paludi, wax poetically like you can do. Keys to the game, your perspective, Coach.
Well, it's interesting, the triple option type of offense. You can see the pros now going to the read option and things like that. So I think you're right, there's going to be a big difference in there because it is a little tough one to win. But I just think that the Atlantic City coach will have made some good adjustments, hopefully, with his passing game to try to get the right patterns in there.
In terms of what's going to happen here today, we will soon find out, and then all the speculation will be put to rest. I do think that the earlier comments that we made about the weather, although it's not as bad as it could be, still is a factor. And I say that it tips decidedly to Holy Spirit's advantage because they can run. They're not going to throw the ball. If they throw the ball 1 out of 10, and the Vikings would throw the ball 9 out of 10, we don't need Inspector Clouseau to figure out who gets hurt by that.
Very true. Again, just a beautiful morning here in Atlantic City. Beautiful sunshine, a little cold, but again, luckily we're inside. It looks like it's going to be a great day for a Thanksgiving Day football game. Harry, I was under the impression you were bringing us, at least Coach Lou and I, some turkey sandwiches or something to get us through here.
Well, I will say, Margie, right now, my sister, they are preparing a feast at the Ponderosa that will feed about 20 today, and it will be delicious. It will feature a 25-pound whole roasted turkey from the Mays Landing Golf and Country Club, one of our proud presenting sponsors today. It will feature a turkey breast and a wonderful ham that my sister has put together. Let me also mention right before kickoff time that some very, very dear partners have made today's broadcast possible. Our banner presenting sponsor, he's always there for us, Senator Jeff Andrew. The city of Atlantic City. Hopefully Mayor Langford will join us at halftime like he always has for all these years. The Shore Medical Center Health Foundation, Vince Palestina and Associates. Unite Here, Local 54. Bob McDevitt's going to come by sometime today. Assemblyman John Amadeo, Assemblyman Chris Brown, Bill Hughes Jr. for Congress, the Klein Construction Company, Chuck Malamut of Merrill Lynch, Cooper Levinson Law Firm, the Mays Landing Golf and Country Club. Don't forget Black Friday sale is tomorrow. Prices that you just will not ever see other than this one day each year, the day after Thanksgiving. Black Friday tomorrow at the Mays Landing Golf and Country Club. Pro Shop, big sales, golf lessons, sales, golf carts, green fees, incredible deals tomorrow at the Mays Landing Golf and Country Club. The Auto Plaza, Egg Harbor Township, Galloway Township, and Marmora. Fred and Ethel's Lantern Light Tavern in Smithville. The Shore Agency, Kirk and Nancy Conover. Fred Nichols, former superintendent of Atlantic City Public Schools, huge supporter. The Schultz Hill Foundation and Atlantic City Electric. And just in time for the national anthem. We have the windows closed, ladies and gentlemen, so you won't hear the national anthem as pronounced as we usually do it each year, but it's cold out there. We have the glass up. So we'll treat this as a moment of silence, and we'll be right back. And that is the Atlantic City High School Power Marching Band with a beautiful rendition of our national anthem. A reminder, you're listening to WPG Talk Radio 1450, and because of Matt Ulmer from Ulmer's Appliance, who is providing magnificent HD stream quality, if you go to WPG1450.com, you can watch the game today, and you'll hear our broadcast. Matt is patched into our board, and you will hear Joe Kelly, Coach Lou, myself, over the next 4 quarters straight ahead. And ladies and gentlemen, I have to say, the toughest job of the broadcasting crew is the play-by-play work of Joe Kelly, who we turn it over to. Joe.
Well, Harry, I'd just like to say we had the beautiful honor guard out there while the national anthem was being played, and we're sitting in the nice warm booth up here. But
I took my jacket off, Joe. I'm feeling guilty.
It's very windy out there. You can see the flags going everywhere. It's cold, but it's a beautiful, crisp, beautiful morning here in Atlantic City for high school football. And it will be Atlantic City kicking off. I believe Atlantic City won the toss and deferred to Holy Spirit, and they elected to receive.
That's I got to say, that's confidence. Sure. I don't know. I mean, a lot of times confident teams will do that because if Holy Spirit goes right up and down the field and next thing you know, Atlantic City's losing 7-0, they would have given them that first possession. You don't see that choice every day, Coach Lou.
That's pretty right. And by the way, with this strong wind, we'll see if he gets it into the end zone. Obviously, they kicked from the 40 in high school.
And they're kicking against the wind.
Well,
Atlantic City is kicking. Oh, they're kicking with the wind.
Yeah.
With the wind.
And the
onside.
ball is through the ground all the way
More
back.
of like a pooch.
We're bringing it up is Talib Gerard, and he makes a pretty good return from the 20 on the ground all the way to about the 40-yard line. So about a 20-yard return on a kick that didn't see much air, kind of went through the ground, went through the middle, and made it all the way to the kick return man.
And for our
Gerard.
listeners, Joe, by design, that kick was to defeat the wind. They weren't going to put that ball up in the air and let the wind, play nasty with it. So I think that was a good strategy. He kicked it all the way down to inside the 10-yard line, and it was a good run back, as you said. So Holy Spirit opens up at the 40-yard line.
And let's see what T.J. Anderson can get going for Holy Spirit with this first play. Ball about the 39-yard line, 40-yard line. And it's an option by Anderson. He keeps the ball, and he ups to the 50. He's got a first down, about 11 yards before being pushed out of bounds. So just over the 50-yard line goes Anderson. And that's what we expected from play one. He's going to keep the ball. He's going to run the option, and they're going to move the ball.
They're going to move the ball.
Looked like Atlantic City was going to wide four defense. 4-4, right? Let's see what they come up with.
And it's first down and 10 for Holy Spirit. Ball right about the 50-yard line on a crisp, windy morning in Atlantic City. We have a split receiver all the way to the left. That's Jordan Taylor. Three backs in the backfield. Anderson fumbles the ball, but it looks like it's recovered by Holy Spirit. Be about a loss of about 3 yards on the fumble play. Kind of a mishandled handoff there.
Didn't have the grasp on it.
Guys, remember in the day, if you were the home team, you would have the white jersey on, and the away team would have the dark jersey on. Interesting, isn't it? I saw on the roster, Atlantic City was playing in their blue uniforms today, and it's changed a little bit there.
About second down, about 13 yards to go for Holy Spirit. Again, we have receiver split left, 3 backs in the backfield, and it's a handoff, and a gain about 4 yards for Holy Spirit. You see Anderson already trying to warm up his hands after just 2 plays on the field. It is cold out there.
By the way, the counter plays are really important because otherwise the teams on defense play wherever the motion is going.
There was Franco Ruffici on the carry for Holy Spirit. And second down and about 9 yards to go. I'm sorry, third down, about 9 yards to go. They're in the same set with the wide receiver split far left. Anderson on the option, and it's a flip. And we've got some running room for number 5 for Holy Spirit. That looks like Jordan Taylor. All the way down to about the 20-yard line.
Did I see a late flag, guys?
It looked like there was a flag.
So tack that on, another 15 on top of that, or
the distance and everything.
Maybe so, yeah. They're at about the 25, so I think they'll mark it
I'm
off.
sorry, it was Angelo Dawson on the carry. It's hard to see it's a lot easier to see the field than it is to see the numbers.
It is true.
Personal foul on the defense. They're going to go half the distance, so his ball is going to be about the 10-yard line for Holy Spirit. And that was a big play after getting stopped for 2 or 3 plays. They did what they had to do to get the ball outside. And here comes Anderson up to the ball with first down and 10 to go from the 10-yard line. Got a receiver split right this time. Handoff. Okay, he kept it. And it's a touchdown. Holy Spirit.
What? How about the deception on that play?
Yeah, he was reading it, and the defense slowed it out, and he just kept it up the middle there.
When you have 2 and 3 guys in the backfield plus the quarterback, it really is a little bit hard to keep track of that ball for the defense. So if Holy Spirit going to a quick 6-0 lead, going for the extra point.
Part of the comment that we said, guys, Atlantic City deferred, and Holy Spirit came right down the field.
And Franco Ruffici going for the extra point with the wind, and that's good. And Holy Spirit jumps out to a very quick 7-0 lead with 9:19 left on the clock here in the first quarter. We're at Atlantic City High School for Thanksgiving Day football. Atlantic City and Holy Spirit. It's the 85th meeting between the team. Atlantic City leads 49 wins, 31 losses, and there have been 4 ties.
I think Harry made a good point. They deferred, but it happened. It didn't work for them. Obviously, Harry probably thought that it would be hard to go into that win in your initial drive.
Our first quarter shutout goes to the sideline.
It is a beautiful stadium to do a game from, guys. The sound system here is magnificent. The brand new scoreboard is brilliant. Many times you can't even read the scoreboard on a sunny day. It's just brilliantly illuminated. It's magnificent.
And as you mentioned in the pregame, it's almost like we're at a college football game.
Like a Division I stadium, it feels like.
It is. And by the way, for the kind of weather it is out there, the crowd is coming in real nice now on both sides of the field.
That's what the game means. I mean, people knew they were going to come out on a freezing cold day for this. I feel guilty. I'm ready to turn the heater down below our feet, guys. I'm starting to get a little warm. This is not fair.
It'll be Franco Ruffici kicking off for Holy Spirit. And we have 2 Atlantic City receivers back deep. It's actually so windy they have to hold the ball for the kickoff. And this one goes in the air, but it goes, oh my gosh.
Now you understand why you can't kick the ball like that today.
The ball might have gone 13 yards in the air and to the far side out of bounds.
It almost looked like
a punt.
It looked like a bad punt. It looked like a gag that you just
It almost went backwards.
punt
at the end.
Yes.
That tells you how strong that wind is. Definitely, maybe you're right, Harry. Should maybe one side kick it down.
Well, I like what the Atlantic City kicker did. He drove that low ball, cut through the wind, and he was able to drive it down inside the 10. Now, of course, they had a great run back, but you can't kick that way. That's impossible.
It's going to be Atlantic City's ball on their own 45-yard line.
Now, if Atlantic City is going to throw the ball, guys, it's going to be the 2 quarters of the game where they have the win with them. This is when they can throw the ball. Second quarter, they're not going to be able to throw the ball. Fourth quarter, they're not going to be able to throw the ball, at least effectively.
Let's see what Jamir Prevard can do on the offense for Atlantic City. Again, first down about their own 44-yard line, or 46-yard line, excuse me. Back in the shotgun is Prevard. It's a handoff to one of the backs, and he is crushed by the Holy Spirit defense. There's a fumble, but I think they called the ball down. Yes, they did. So a loss of about 3 or 4 yards for Atlantic City.
Also, 3 yards on the play.
And they're running it hurry-up offense here right from the get-go.
You think it would be warmer to huddle?
Yes.
All right, we have 3 wide receivers split left. Prevard in the backfield with 1 back in the shotgun, and he looks. It's a screen left, Looks like Dennis White on the reception and probably lost a yard on the play. It was a completed pass, but he did not get very far.
Ball received by Graves.
Oh, I'm sorry, that was Isaiah Graves, the receiver. So it'll be second down at about 12 yards for Atlantic City. Holy Spirit up early by a score of 7-0. Atlantic City again going with the no-huddle offense. Jamir Prevard in the shotgun. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Going back to pass. Looking in the middle, and it's almost complete. Knocked away at the last minute by Holy Spirit offense.
Daniel's pass intended for Graves falls incomplete.
Oh, it is not Prevard as the quarterback. It's a different quarterback. Atlantic City now has 4th down. They're in punt formation.
That's a tough snap for the center, too.
And a bad snap to the kicker, but he does get the punt away. And it goes downfield. Pretty good kick.
With a nice Viking bounce.
To about the 20-yard line where it's picked up by the Holy Spirit runner, and he gets back to about the 25-yard line for Holy Spirit.
With 7:51 left in the first quarter, guys, this first quarter is huge for Atlantic City. They're playing with the wind. If they can move the ball, they have to do it. During the second quarter, they have to do it, or the first quarter, rather, they have to do it in the third quarter because Holy Spirit's going to be able to run it against the wind. This is a huge quarter for Atlantic City, and so far, they've not been able to move the ball well.
All right, Holy Spirit coming up to the ball about the 26-yard line, their own 26-yard line. Anderson hands off up the middle. About 3 or 4 yard carry for Holy Spirit.
Looks like Atlantic City moved up a little bit more on the line of scrimmage to try to stop the run here. Tighten their defense. And punt here. It looks like a punt.
Gain of 5 yards.
The challenge is they stop them 1 down. Maybe they stop them 2 downs. Can they stop them 3 downs?
Exactly.
That's the challenge.
Ball is on the 32-yard line of Holy Spirit. Second down, about 4 yards to go. Anderson handoff up the middle. Looks like it's close to the first down, very close to the first down for Holy Spirit. We'll see where the ball is marked, and the officials do call it a first down. First down, Holy Spirit. Ball at about the 39-yard line of Holy Spirit. We have 7:10 to go. Holy Spirit out to a quick 7-0 lead. Holy Spirit was able to move the ball quickly on their first series. Stopped Atlantic City. And we have a first down and 10 yards to go for Holy Spirit. Anderson handoff, and Atlantic City swarms the runner, and we lost about 2 yards there. About a loss of a 2-yard for Holy Spirit. So that'll bring up about second down and 12 yards to go for Holy Spirit.
When Holy Spirit runs into the short side of the field, Atlantic City's been able to stop them, but they've been doing well with the options coming outside.
All right, Holy Spirit comes up to the ball. Second down first down. Or second down, about 12 yards to go. Anderson, pitch back. Runner right, and that was Talib Gerald, and he picks up about 7 or 8, maybe 10 yards.
I think he's a little short.
Ball to about the 48-yard line of Holy Spirit.
Gerald on the carry.
That was a good outside pitch to the right side, and Gerald was actually able to get it about 10 yards on that play.
And a reminder, our HD stream is up and running at WPG1450.com, 97.3 ESPN.com, from Matt Ulmer of Ulmer's Appliance, doing this in the interest of the community today.
Third down, about 2 yards to go for Holy Spirit. Anderson under center. There's an option. Anderson keeps the ball and goes across midfield to about the 41-yard line of Atlantic City. Good run for T.J. Anderson on the option in the keep, and that shows us what Anderson can do with his legs, and the fake that he made was great.
Very good point. And one of the things when you have to assign someone, one on the inside back, one on the quarterback, one on the pitchman, and it looks like he's getting loose.
And about the same look at the line of scrimmage for Holy Spirit. We got a man in motion, and he's a pitch left. Missed a tackle by Atlantic City, and Holy Spirit runner gets down to about the 34-yard line. Jordan Taylor on the run for Holy Spirit.
Guys, if you're Holy Spirit, you have to be thrilled about this. You're running against the wind. There's 5 minutes left, just under 5 minutes now left in the first quarter. Atlantic City's got the win. They've done nothing. You're up 7-0, and you're driving for a potential second score. So it's advantage Holy Spirit at this point.
Ball on Atlantic City's 35-yard line for Holy Spirit. Second down, about 4 yards to go. And there's a handoff to number 4, Talib Gerald, and he pushes through for maybe 2 or 3 yards for Holy Spirit. That's going to bring up a third down and very short for Holy Spirit. And again, as we mentioned at the outset, Holy Spirit is moving the ball down the field on the ground.
Definitely, and so something has to change in this momentum here. In other words, to keep it down, don't you think, Harry?
Without a doubt, Coach. Great observation. Also, Matt Ulmer just showed me the stream, guys. It's our audio of us three with that HD stream. It's beautiful.
And there's a fumble on the keeper by Anderson.
No sign from the officials, although they appear to be signaling that Holy Spirit's maintained it, I think.
Atlantic City players are saying they have the ball, but officials say Holy Spirit. And I think that pushed it enough for a first down, or very close for a first down. We'll see what the officials rule. It is a first down. First down for Holy Spirit, ball at about the 30-yard line of Atlantic City as they continue to move the ball. The clock down to about 3 minutes and 52 seconds in this first quarter. If you're just joining us, Holy Spirit is up by a score of 7-0. They were able to score very quickly on the first series, keeping the ball on the ground.
They seem to do better running to the wide side of the field. We'll see what happens here.
We got a runner split right, another back, and there's a pitch out right down to about the 25-yard line. Goes again to Talib Gerald, who's getting a lot of carries here for Holy Spirit. That'll be about a second down and 5 yards to go for Holy Spirit.
You know, Holy Spirit, watching them execute, it looks like a mini NFL team, gobbling up clock, gaining yards, taking care of their business. This is a very impressive first quarter for them.
They're looking like a 10-0 team.
Yeah, they do.
Anderson up to the ball. Again, about second down and 4 or 5 yards to go for Holy Spirit. The ball at the Atlantic City 25-yard line, man in motion, and we've got a flag on the play before it even begins.
Flag on the play.
Possibly an offsides or an illegal motion there. False start on Holy Spirit. That'll move back to the ball 5 yards, bringing up about a second and 9-yard play for Holy Spirit with the ball at the Atlantic City 29-yard line.
Well, they got a penalty to stop them. Defense can stop them now.
All right, Anderson moves up to center. We got a split left. 3 backs in the backfield. Anderson under center, man in motion, number 24. It's a counter up the middle. Tripped up by maybe his own man is Talib Gerald. Pickup of maybe 1 or 2 yards for Holy Spirit. That's going to bring up third and about 8 or 9 yards to go for Holy Spirit. We're still in the first quarter where Spirit is up by a score of 7-0.
I think it's fair to say Holy Spirit is as advertised.
Exactly right. Ball about the 29-yard line, a little bit longer than I said. About third down and about 9 yards to go. We have a receiver split left. Anderson under center, 3 men in the backfield.
Probably go to the wide side again.
Wide side pitch to number 24. And he gets through, fighting his way almost to the first down marker, but not quite. That's Franco Raffici. And that'll bring up about a fourth down and about 2 or 3 yards to go.
And it's
4
down territory, guys. They're not kicking here.
Yeah, I don't think they'll kick a field goal here.
Maybe a little closer, maybe about 1 or 2 yards to go for the first down for Holy Spirit. Ball at about the 22-yard line of Atlantic City. With 2:24 left in the first quarter, Holy Spirit up by a score of 7-0.
Coach, if the wind's going the other way or there's no wind, are you kicking a field goal here or are you going for it on fourth down?
I'm definitely going for it.
Yeah, they are anyhow, but curious if you take the points if you can.
Inside there.
Right inside as you called, Coach, and that's an easy first down for Holy Spirit, down to about the 16-yard line. So that'll bring up first and 10. as Holy Spirit continues to move the ball on the ground.
Quick observation: isn't it a pleasure to call a game, Joe, and you especially as play-by-play announcer, when every yard is marked so beautifully on this field? It's just a joy to watch the game on this field, on this
Very nice.
turf field.
Very beautiful field. Very beautiful setting here at Atlantic City High School. All right, Anderson under center. Man in motion. Fake flip, counter, and it's recovered. The fumble
By Atlantic
was
City.
recovered by Atlantic City. It was a counter. The bad handoff. The ball bounced on the ground. Atlantic City player looks like number 50. Number 50.
Looked like the quarterback swept it up too hard in there. Kind of interesting, coming in there with that mistake. We used to say, no mistakes there. You're down by the inside the goal, the red zone there.
Levon Diaz with the scoop, with the recovery for Atlantic City, and it's now Atlantic City's ball on their own 20-yard line.
See if this changes the momentum a little.
It's a great point. Late in the first quarter, they get the ball back.
It's a quick pass to the right, quick screen, and a pickup of about 1 yard for Atlantic City. That's Don Daniel.
We have a fumble the other way?
It's a fumble the other way. And it looks like Holy Spirit has recovered the fumble. That was quick.
So much for that momentum, Coach Lou.
Wow, that's really amazing.
So it'll be Holy Spirit's ball back on the 20-yard line. It was as if they didn't miss a beat. First down and 10 to go for Holy Spirit on the Atlantic City 20-yard line after corresponding fumbles, one from each team.
It's a huge development because Holy Spirit's going to gain the wind in a minute and 31 seconds.
I'll see what happens here.
Yeah, I'm looking for that quick pitch outside of the open part of the field. There's the man in motion, and there's the pitch.
Wow.
And it's Talib Gerald again with the carry, pickup of about 3 yards. It looked like Atlantic City might have been waiting on that play.
Yeah, they were. They did a good job.
Now, Joe, I knew you were a great play-by-play man, but now you're calling the plays. Nostradamus here on Thanksgiving Day.
Well, they've only had 2 plays. They've been running the same 2 plays all game, Harry. So
It's because they work, right?
second down, about 7 yards to go for Holy Spirit. They're on the Atlantic City about 17-yard line with about a minute to go in this first quarter. Holy Spirit up 7-0. And we'll see if we go to the pitch to the left side this time, since that's the open side. There's the man in motion. There's the pitch.
Nostradamus.
It's number 6, Angelo Dawson on the carry, and he gets stopped by the Atlantic City defense. Atlantic City defense seems to have come alive on this series.
Yeah, it seems like they're picking up the system here.
Tackle by Graves for Atlantic City. That'll bring up third down and about 8 or 9 yards to go for Holy Spirit. They're about at the 18-yard line of Atlantic City.
Coach just said a play, and we could see the first pass of the game by Holy Spirit.
I was going to say to you, Coach, how as a head coach, Lou, how many times can you either keep it, pitch right, pitch left? You've got to mix it up a little bit.
You're right.
Joe Bonaventura on the out for the receiver to the right. It's a quick fake pitch left counter. And there goes Holy Spirit's runner in for the touchdown. Or on the left side, it looks like Jordan Taylor.
I'll tell you, his explosive speed is just amazing. I mean, he took that pitch, 5 yards deep?
And just the confusion in the backfield for Holy Spirit with all the different moving parts really make it tough for Atlantic City defense to key on one person in the backfield there.
Very good point, Joe. And just at the end of the first quarter, too, right? Harry, last play of the
Exactly.
Be Franco Raffici on to kick the extra point for Holy Spirit. This would put them up 14-0 as we end the first quarter. On a beautiful morning in Atlantic City. Looks like a false start, and they're going to have to snap it again. Looks like Atlantic City defender was offsides, and that's what it'll be. So they'll try it again here. If you're just joining us, the first quarter is just coming to an end. Holy Spirit just scored a touchdown on a great run of about 18 yards. Holy Spirit kicking the extra point here. Frank Raffici with the kick. It's up. And it's good. That'll give Holy Spirit a 14-0 lead at the end of the first quarter for at Atlantic City High School for the 85th meeting between Atlantic City and Holy Spirit on this beautiful, crisp Thanksgiving morning.
We want to thank our presenting sponsors, our banner presenting sponsor, Senator Jeff Andrew, the City of Atlantic City, Shore Medical Center, Shore Medical Health Foundation, Vince Palestina and Associates, Unite here, Local 54. We may hear from the president, Bob McDead of South Jersey's biggest union, a little bit later during our halftime show. Assemblyman John Amadeo, Assemblyman Chris Brown, Bill Hughes Jr. for Congress, the Klein Construction Company, Ed Klein and his great team, Chuck Malamud, our official financial advisor, Cooper Levinson Law Firm, the Mays Landing Golf and Country Club. Remember their Black Friday sale tomorrow. Prices are unbelievable. The Auto Plaza, Fred and Ethel's Lantern Light Tavern, the Shore Agency by Nancy and Kirk Conover, Fred Nichols, former Atlantic City Superintendent of Public Schools, the Schultz Hill Foundation, and Atlantic City Electric. We thank you all.
I just wanted to compliment you for you've done some great job in getting a sponsorship. They're all great people from our area.
We're blessed to live in a community where the support is unbelievable, and this is such a marquee community event, and we thank everybody for their participation, including you, Coach Lou, and the value you bring.
And here we go with the start of the second quarter. Holy Spirit kicking it off. Again, they have to have a holder on the kickoff because it is so windy out there. It'll be Franco Raffici on the kickoff for Holy Spirit. And this is a ball up in the air, and it goes all the way back into the end zone and goes through the end zone.
Yeah,
nice kick.
With the wind.
Very
Note.
nice.
That was with the ring. I was going to say.
That went about halfway, landed about halfway through the end zone. That you don't see that much in a high school game.
I remember punting into the wind. That ball went further than the
Well,
punt. Yeah.
Raffici is a senior, so I'm sure in about 10 years when he's reliving this moment, there wasn't any wind at all, and I kicked it right out of the end zone.
And it's on HD film by Matt Ulmer, so that's awesome.
It was a quiet day, and I kicked it right out of the
I mean, didn't that look like a professional
It
kick?
was
It
a
looked beautiful.
kick.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful kick.
And when you send these films away to the colleges, they say, look, he kicks it right into the end zone.
Every time.
All right, Atlantic City has the ball on their own 20-yard line.
Guys, they did nothing with the wind. Now they have a quarter against the wind.
It looks like Prevard is in their quarterback now. And it's a little option there, and it did not fool Holy Spirit one bit. Maybe about a yard on the play. Maybe about a yard loss on the play, excuse me.
And I want to congratulate you, Joe, because the Atlantic City numbers on the dark blue jersey is very tricky. Very tricky to see.
Well, half of it, Harry, I'm just making up it as I go along.
Well, it sounds
You
good.
get lucky once in
You're
a while.
doing well. You knew it was Prevard for the first time.
That trips over there to the right.
And there's a
lateral, too.
there's a lateral. That is a live ball.
Yeah, I'm going to say that was a forward pass.
Oh,
It
it looks like a lateral from here.
I
Atlantic
think
City.
the officials are going to agree with me.
Atlantic City quarterback went back to pass. It was a quick little pass in the backfield. It looked to us like it was backwards, but apparently it was forward, and it was incomplete. So it'll be third down and about 13 for Atlantic City, backed up to their own about 20-yard line. Or, excuse me, about 18-yard line. All right, Atlantic City ball. Back pass, and Holy Spirit sacks, and we have the ball all the way down to about the 5-yard line. Quick sack by Holy Spirit. Prevard is sacked by, it looks like, number 24 for Holy Spirit. And that's Franco Raffici again, who's everywhere on this field today.
He is. He has a reputation of being a really good defensive player.
All right, Atlantic City back to punt in their own end zone. It's fourth down, 25 yards to go. Ball on their own 5-yard line. Atlantic City back to punt. Harry, if you can help me out a little bit here. I'm kind of looking at a wall a little bit.
Coach, I will do my best.
And there's the snap.
Yeah.
The kick is off, and it...
What a challenging position to punt.
Yeah, it's only going to be about a 25-yard punt, and it's down by Atlantic City. Holy Spirit is going to have the ball on Atlantic City's 30-yard line. So it's going to be a very short field for Holy Spirit offense.
I'll tell you, that will go down as something that people will think was unremarkable, but he's at the back of the end zone.
Yeah.
In this horrific wind, he kicked the ball over 30-some yards.
That'll give Holy Spirit the ball, first down and 10 on the Atlantic City 30-yard line. 10:28 left in the second quarter. Holy Spirit in the front with a 14-0 lead. And Anderson moves up to the ball under center. Split right is the receiver. Man in motion to the right, and there's the pitch right to Gerard, and he picks up about 5 or 6 yards on the play for Holy Spirit. And that's the option play that they've been running all game long so far for Holy Spirit.
Yeah, that triple option thing. And they do a lot of reading. Some of these I think are called beforehand, though, don't you?
Let me throw an observation. Is it possible that the Holy Spirit knows that DePaul is in the stadium right now and they're running a very limited playbook to not show much before the championship game?
Certainly a possibility. I would certainly think about that. All right, second down at about 5 yards to go for Holy Spirit at the 25-yard line of Atlantic City. We've got a man in motion left, and there's the fake pitch and the counter, and that's Talib right
He's in.
up the middle and into the end zone. Talib Gerald.
Holy Spirit.
About a 15 or 25-yard run.
They are tough.
And Holy Spirit now goes up 20-0, going for the extra point with 9:40 left in this first quarter. So far, the game has been, I guess, as we talked about, all Holy Spirit, all on the ground. Lots of points.
Well, it's the first half, not the first quarter, Coach. Right?
I'm sorry.
That's it. But great, you're right. You're right on target there. Wow.
All right, here's Rafiki in to kick the extra point with the wind at his back.
You just have to drill this just to not. Well, it's with the wind. It's
And that's easily
nothing.
through. And it's 21-0 for Holy Spirits. 9:40 to go here in the second quarter. 21-0. Holy Spirit in front.
Hey, guys, a lot of games still to go, but how good is Holy Spirit? I mean, Atlantic High just about beat the number 1 seed in the largest group in the NJSIA tournament in Eastern, literally 4 yards away from pulling off the upset. And here's Holy Spirit in Parochial 2 with a 21-0 lead, barely into the second quarter.
Well, I think the Holy Spirit offense is coming in as advertised, and as we touched on a little bit in the pregame, this Holy Spirit defense is just shutting down Atlantic City every time they try anything.
With the wind, against the wind, it doesn't matter. They just shut them down.
It's funny. We all expected it to be a little tighter.
Sure.
So before they started, but Spirit, I guess, is showing how they've gotten here.
Remember that fumble in late with 1:31 seconds left in the first quarter when Atlantic City had the ball only down 7-0 and turned it over in one play.
Right.
That was huge.
Again, about 9:40 to go here in the second quarter. We're at Atlantic City High School, where Holy Spirit is taking a lead of 21-0 with 3 good running touchdowns. Franco Raffici back to kick again for Holy Spirit. Again, so windy, we have to have a holder on the ball for the kickoff. Let's see if Raffici can make it 2 in a row into the end zone. There's another nice-looking kick, and it goes back through the end zone.
Wow.
There was that game I kicked 2 balls right through the end zone when I was in high school. Good kick by Franco Raffici, aided by the wind, and that'll give Atlantic City the ball with first down and 10 to go on their own 20-yard line. Again, down by a score of 21-0. Holy Spirit taking a big early lead here at Atlantic City High School.
Even though high school kicked from the 40-yard line, it was balls 60-some yards
Sure.
in the air. That's really a good kick.
Very impressive. All right, Atlantic City comes in again. No huddle. Comes right up to the line of scrimmage.
Looks like a little tight, different formation here. Maybe something different's going to happen.
Jamir Prevard in the backfield. Takes the snap directly, and he runs right and gets no gain. Quarterback keeper around the right side, but wasn't able to get the blockers in front of him. So it brings up about second down and maybe lost to a yard or two there. Second down at about 12 yards to go for Atlantic City.
Holy Spirit's 4-4 defense certainly is exerting itself, don't you think, Harry?
They're impressive. I mean, they're smart. Their path to the ball, to the opponent is just crisp. They're very, very good. Very well coached team, guys. Iannucci is just an outstanding head coach.
All right, we're about second down at about 12 or 13 to go for Atlantic City. We've Prevard in the backfield. We've got a fake pitch, and Prevard keeps the ball, runs up the middle, and again is hit by that swarming Holy Spirit offense. Probably another loss, maybe a gain of 1 yard on the play. That's going to bring up third down at 11 for Holy Spirit for Atlantic City. Atlantic City not able to move the ball here so far today, Harry.
It was something we talked about. If they're not able to throw the ball, how are they going to be able to move it? And they're against the wind this quarter and not able to do much at all.
Third down, about 11 yards to go. Got more of a split look to the Atlantic City offense now. 2 receivers right, 2 receivers left. We've got a runner in the backfield for Prevard. And there's the snap. He's going back, looking right, looking long right, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by Holy Spirit. And he goes in. Did he make it? He makes it for a touchdown. Holy Spirit. Looks like Angelo Dawson on the interception. Dawson on the interception for Holy Spirit. And the score is now 27-0 in favor of Holy Spirit. Well, they tried to go up in the air, and as we talked about, it happened exactly. The ball got stuck up there, and Holy Spirit was able to come down with it, Coach.
Right before that, I was going to say Holy Spirit will probably get good field position, but they got better than that.
Yeah.
Got the interception, but it's tough for the coach of Atlantic City. He has to really see what he can do, Harry, to try to slow this thing down. I'm sure Spirit will be putting in their substitutes soon, if not already.
And Rafiki back to kick again with the extra point. And there's the snap, the hold, kick is up, and it's got plenty of room, and it's good. It's nice coming out there as a kicker and be able to kick with the wind, isn't it, Coach?
Definitely. And he really kicked it well.
28-0 now the score with about 8:43 left in the first half. Holy Spirit has gone up to a big lead, 28-0 here in the first half at Atlantic City High School. And it will be Holy Spirit kicking off. Again, with the wind at their back. Well, Harry, as you mentioned in the pregame, the weather is playing a factor here today. The wind certainly has.
And again, against Atlantic City, and Holy Spirit unaffected by it. You don't want to say something with 8:43 left in just the second quarter, but at 28-0, I mean, Holy Spirit is just dropping the hammer on Atlantic City.
Dominating game so far for Holy Spirit, again 28-0, and it'll be Isaiah Graves and Naheem Mali going back for Atlantic City on the kickoff. Franco Raffici getting a lot of work for Holy Spirit.
How many times have you said his name? If he was getting paid for mentions,
exactly,
he'd be in good shape. He'd be Donald Trump right now.
And again, the kickoff from the 40-yard line. We have to have a holder because it is so windy. Rafiki coming up to the ball.
And he'll kick it out of the end zone this
There's
time.
Another nice kick, and it's headed that way. But it looks like Atlantic City's going to give it a try. Hits the runner, and he drops it, but he picks it back up. Looks like Isaiah Graves on the run. Still fighting, now getting some room, and gets up to about the 19-yard line.
Based on fumbling the ball at about the goal line, that was a very nice return.
A lot of work for 19 yards, but he did it well. Caught the ball before it was going to go in the end zone. It actually bounced off his chest, picked it up off the ground, and was able to make some good yardage out of that.
See if Prevard can get them moving a little bit here. The coach may try a couple of different plays here now, Harry.
We got 4 wide receivers out there for Atlantic City, 2 on the left, 2 on the right. Back in the backfield for Prevard. We got a runner in motion, handoff to the runner in motion, going right. Gets a block or 2, fumbles the ball at the end of the play, but he was down. Looks like he was down. And no gain on the play, so it'll bring up second down at about 10 yards for Atlantic City.
That's the 4th fumble for Atlantic City, isn't it?
It is hard to keep your hands on that cold ball here.
Yeah.
All right, again, the same setup. 4 wide receivers, 2 on the left, 2 on the right. Looks like the same exact play, but it's a pass, and the pass is incomplete. We had the Prevard go back to pass. Intended receiver was Isaiah Graves, but he overthrew him a little, so that's going to bring down. It
just looks like for a sophomore, that's a lot of pressure on him.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, so we have third down, about 10 yards to go. And there's Prevard going left, passing, but it looks like the receiver was out of bounds when he caught the ball.
That would have been a first down, too. Just missed.
You just have the sense the margins are so thin for Atlantic City. Everything, has to be just, and Holy Spirit is just able to do a myriad of things.
On the pass play, when there was the third down, the pass play over the middle looked like a good pass. If the receiver could have sped up a little bit and got under that ball, he had a lot of daylight ahead of him.
We're kicking into the wind here, which is tough.
Another fourth down punt play for Atlantic City. Ball about their own 20-yard line. There's a very low kick, but it gets some yardage, and it'll be down to about the 40-yard line of Atlantic City. So a punt of about 20 yards for Atlantic City. Holy Spirit will have the ball on Atlantic City's 40-yard line. Again, we're in the middle of the second quarter. Holy Spirit is up by a score of 28-0. 28-0, Holy Spirit, and they'll have the ball.
Ascani 25, Oakrest 0.
Just heard Joe Tosh give an Absegami score 25-0 up over Oakrest. So 2 Thanksgiving rivalry games blowouts at the moment.
Holy Spirit back to pass. Nice looking pass. Deep right. Do we have an interference there? Looked like a little pushing and shoving.
Yeah,
but
no flag. I guess they gave him path to the ball.
Anderson's pass to Taylor falls incomplete.
The pass was incomplete. Far right. Is that a different quarterback in there, or is that still
I
Anderson?
was just going to say, the number 12, is it?
Looks like it is still Anderson. I'm sorry.
It is Anderson?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He had his shirt kind of bunched up, and it was hard to tell exactly what his number was.
Yeah.
Second down and 10 on the 40-yard. Got a runner, but it's counter right up the middle. And it looks like number 44, Dondre Dennis, with the run for Holy Spirit, gets a first down and a little bit more. About a 14-yard carry for Dennis right up the middle.
First down for the Spartans.
And that's, I think, Coach, that's the first time they've had a good run up the middle. Usually it's been around to the open side of the field.
I think so they're trying to spread out the defense and try to stop it wide and then go up the middle.
And guys, anybody who knows Coach Mike Eisenstein, Dr. Eisenstein's son, that is the recipient name of the stadium, knows he does not like it.
And there's another run exactly the same up the middle, but this time Atlantic City was ready, and it's a gain of about 1 or 2 yards for Atlantic City. That'll bring up a second down at about 8 yards to go for Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit up by a score of 28-0 with 6:50 still in the first half.
Are you surprised with anything you've seen so far? You surprised with anything you've seen?
I'm a little surprised that with such a heavy game like this, it could be that far ahead, but they will settle in.
Anderson on the option, pitches to number 4, Gerald, and he is quickly stacked up by Atlantic City. A gain maybe of a yard.
That was a counter option. It was the first time they ran that.
Gerald on the carry for a loss of 2 yards.
Actually,
City was ready for it.
Actually, a loss of about 2 yards. Atlantic City certainly was ready. That'll bring up about a third down and 7 yards to go, I believe.
I don't think the Holy Spirit has passed yet the whole day, have they?
Anderson tried that one at the beginning of this series that went over past the receiver,
Oh, okay.
but that's the only attempt that he made. We have a split wide receiver left. And Anderson is going back to pass over the middle, short, and it's complete to about the 10-yard line. Goes Holy Spirit, and that looks, I believe that's Will Gaskell, number 15.
Taylor's pass. Excuse me. Anderson's pass to Taylor is complete for a
It was a nice looking pass line.
Very good, very good.
Right in there.
That'll bring up a first down and about 10 yards to go from about the 11-yard line for Holy Spirit. Got a wide receiver split left. It's a counter, and Talib Gerald on the run picks up maybe a couple of yards for Holy Spirit. That'll bring up second down and about 8 yards to go as Holy Spirit is in the red zone and looking to score again here. About 5 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Holy Spirit already up 28-0, looking for another score here as we're still very early in the game.
Because they throw so infrequently, it can be so effective for them.
We have one receiver split way left, one flanked right. And there's another counter play with Talib Gerald up the middle, and he scores. There's another score for Holy Spirit.
He is just about unstoppable, guys.
It is.
They're spreading out with their counters and the changes in the backfield. It's tough for Atlantic City to figure out who's going to get the ball. We're 34-0 Holy Spirit here in the first half already, and they're looking to make it 35 with the extra point.
It's been a long time since they saw a game where teams ahead by 35 points in the first half. Aaron.
Franco Raffici looking for his 5th extra point. It's up, and it's good. That gives Holy Spirit a lead of 35-0. Still in the first half, 4:41 to go in the second quarter. Coach, this is not where we expected this. How we expected this game to get started.
It isn't, and it's kind of interesting with this kind of a thing. But you want to say, what do you do as a coach to try to get your team motivated to stop the embarrassment?
In the pregame, though, guys, we did talk about, can Atlantic City move the ball against Holy Spirit's defense? The answer has been no. Can Holy Spirit run the ball today? The answer has been yes. They're having their way. I mean, it's a clinic.
And Atlantic City with a sophomore quarterback, he's getting a lot of experience for the future for himself.
I mean, think about this, guys. How good is Holy Spirit? This Atlantic City team went toe-to-toe with one of the top-ranked teams in the entire state.
In Division One, right?
5, they call it now, believe it or not.
It'll be Isaiah Graves and Moli Pannell back for Atlantic City. With Raffici kicking off again for Holy Spirit. He's already kicked 2 into the end zone. 4:41 left in the second quarter. 35-0, Holy Spirit up. And here's the kickoff. Nice looking kick again, going deep. But it's handled by Isaiah Graves. And they called that a touchback?
He did.
Oh.
It was interesting. He did do a touchback, but then he decided he wanted to run it, so he took off. But the official had
Somebody
already
was
signaled.
watching. Somebody was
the
watching.
official was watching. Guys, I was thinking about this. 85 years young, this rivalry. Almost every single person watching right now, listening, this has been around their entire lifetime. Even someone slightly older than 85, by the time they were in high school. This has been around for everybody listening right now your entire lifetime. And it's really it's a wonderful tradition, and the Thanksgiving Day rivalries, they must continue.
All right, Atlantic City with the ball. 20-yard line. It's a handoff straight up the middle. And there's a little bit of a hole for the Atlantic City runner. Pickup of about 4 yards for, looks like Dennis White's on the run.
Ball carried by Williams.
Nope. Ahmad Williams with the
4
run.
yards on the play.
Atlantic City right up to the line of scrimmage. Second down, about 6 yards to go, wasting no time. Atlantic City back in formation, but some sort of problem in the backfield, and there's a flag thrown.
Just to add what Harry said too, though, as a person, you can't just take, because of this one type of blowout.
Right.
You can't take that as a long-range thing. I can remember my senior year, and we won 40-0.
Let me say something to Joe and to Coach Lou after this play that I think we're getting to the point of the game where maybe something comes into play.
There's a handoff right up the middle for Atlantic City, and it looks like we've got a first down.
Here's my thought, guys. Holy Spirit's winning 35-0. There's a very good chance starters could be pulled by the third quarter. I mean, they have a championship game on December 8th at Rutgers against DePaul, one of the top teams in the state. You don't want to get anybody injured. I think that's something as a head coach you look at, Lou, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I think that was the first Atlantic City first down of the game, and we have, again, a little bit of delay here. Atlantic City just about to call the play. Talking to the quarterback, Jamir Prevard, talking to the sidelines while calling the play. Changes the play at the line of scrimmage. First down, 10 yards to go. Prevard back to pass, looking deep, running right. Little bit of trouble running right. Might pick up a few yards on the play, but that's about it. He was looking for a receiver downfield on the right side, was not able to find anybody open, so he kept the ball around the side and picked up maybe 5 or 6 yards, actually. 4 yards, I guess it is. So it'll be second down and 6 yards to go for Atlantic City. The ball on their own 37-yard line with about 3:24 left in the second half. Holy Spirit way out in front, 35-0 in this one. Prevard back in the shotgun. And they change the play again right at the line of scrimmage, just as the ball is about to be snapped. All right, here we go. Prevard in the shotgun. Back to pass, looking right, short right. There's a quick screen to number 5, Ahmad Williams, and he is able to pick up the first down. So 2 first downs for Atlantic City in this series as they're finally starting to move the ball a little bit. The ball about their own 45-yard line. 45-yard line. Vikings have the ball, first down and 10.
It looks like the Holy Spirit has some subs in there now, don't they, Harry?
Yeah, and they're running a very, very quick offense set.
Yeah.
No huddle offense.
Prevard keeps stepping up, looking like he's about to call the play, and then stops and talks to the sidelines, come back, maybe change the play a little bit. There's the handoff right up the middle for Atlantic City. He squirts to the right side, still moving, still on his feet. Pick of about 7 yards. And that is Williams. Ahmad Williams on the carry.
And Joe, about 5 of that on sheer effort.
It was. He had his. I think
falling.
his hand was down right at the line of scrimmage, but he was able to keep moving forward. All right, Prevard back in the shotgun again. Again, they look like they're ready to call the play. They stop. He talks to the sidelines, and he comes up with a new play. Just trying to draw the other team off sides, maybe?
Possibly.
Second down, 5 yards to go. Looking right. Got a man open, but he throws it over his head. He had Isaiah Graves open on the right side, but threw it over his head. That'll be third down, about 4 yards to go for Atlantic City. As again, they're finally starting to move the ball a little bit here in the second quarter. Let's see if they can keep the momentum going.
You could see against the wind, it just fits for the quarterback because he cannot throw the ball like he would normally do, so you wind up overthrowing it.
I'm excited to see what happens when they turn the ball around and Jamir Prevard can start throwing the ball where he wants to.
I think he's going to open it up.
I've not seen him throw the ball yet before this game, and he looks like he's a good passer. Let's see what happens. About third down, 4 yards to go. Ball on the Holy Spirit 49. Prevard keeps it, goes around the right side, and fights his way
Short of the first, yeah.
Just about a yard and a half short of a first down. That'll bring up fourth down and maybe a yard for Atlantic City. They're finally into Holy Spirit territory.
And they're going to go for it, right? Because you have to. 2 minutes left in the second quarter. They've got to go for it.
3 receivers split left, 1 right, and Atlantic City calls a timeout. So with 1:53 to go here in the first half, Holy Spirit out to a big 35-0 lead. But Atlantic City showing like they can finally start moving the ball here this morning.
And by the way, T.J. Anderson's number now, number 12.
Number 12.
And he's playing right defensive end also. Defense.
They say that in college he's probably going to be more of a defensive player rather than a quarterback that we've seen here today.
Very interesting. And, Coach, you made an observation, Coach Lou. Holy Spirit has some different personnel in the game at this point. So Atlantic City is moving it against perhaps Holy Spirit's second team.
And again, by the same token, as you talked about, the team they're going to play next week in the championship, maybe they don't want to show all their defensive lineups and all the reads.
Exactly. And you don't want anybody to get hurt. You're winning 35-0.
Exactly. All right, timeout coming to an end. Again, we have about 1:53 to go here in this first half. Holy Spirit way out in front of this game, 35-0. Atlantic City has the ball with fourth down, 2 yards to go on the Holy Spirit 47-yard line. Jamir Prevard back in the shotgun. 3 receivers left, 1 right. 1 player in the backfield next to Prevard. Here's the snap. Looks left, screen pass left. It looks like he might have gotten it.
It's going to be count on the spot. Is it left foot or right foot spot? And it's real close. They did not get a very kind spot.
It looked like Isaiah Graves on the reception.
He
did not get a good spot.
Not at all. We need the Ulmer webcam HD stream replay because that was a nasty spot.
We're right at the spot on the field in the press box, and it looks like
it's going to be short by just a hair, I think.
Very close.
But he made that first down. He made it.
It was a very good play. He fought for the effort. Very close.
He's not signaling first down, guys.
How close
this
is
it? So close. I think there's a link in the chain here.
The referee is putting his glasses on so he can get the correct rating.
It's not a first down.
Just short.
Guys, he looked at that for over 5 seconds. That's how close that was. But that spot could not have been more unkind.
That's going to turn the ball over to Holy Spirit. They'll have a first down on their own 46-yard line, 45-yard line. With 1:43 to go here in the first half. Holy Spirit way out front, 35-0. And is that
Holy Spirit throwing the pass at all?
Wow. The Viking sideline is furious
they
at
threw
the official.
One incompleted
Furious.
pass. One incompleted pass. Here's a pitch left to the open field. Number 6, Angelo Dawson with the run. Picks up maybe 1 or 2 yards. Atlantic City defense did a great job controlling and containing on that play. That'll bring up second down, maybe 8 yards to go. I guess they got a little more favorable spot than I thought.
See the coach is arguing the first down mark.
Oh, he won't
Yeah.
stop. He's absolutely incensed.
And I can kind of agree with the Atlantic City coach because it looked like the referee picked up the ball and didn't put it down where he picked it up from.
Yeah, it was definitely a poor spot.
About a minute to go here in the first half. Holy Spirit the ball, second down, 8 yards to go. Anderson back to pass, looking right. He's got a man open. He just overthrew him, and I kind of think that had to do with the wind as well. We had a man wide open on the right-hand side. Anderson threw about 20, 25 yards in the air, and it was just a little bit over the head of, I think that's Franco Raffici again.
And he was trying to lead him, Joe. You can tell, even with the wind, it is so challenging to throw the ball today. Which, of course, plays right into Holy Spirit's hands. They don't have to throw it at all. They're just throwing it to keep the defense honest. They don't have to throw it one time.
Yeah. Anderson was injured for a couple of days, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And so he's coming back.
About a third down and 8 yards to go for Holy Spirit. They're on their own 47, 48-yard line. We have 55 seconds to go here in the first half. Spirit up by a score of 35-0. And Anderson back to pass again. It's a screen right to leave Gerard. And did he lose the ball, or he just got stacked up? No, he just
You see him spin around almost like a horse collar, but there was no flag.
loss of about 3 or 4 yards on the play. So it's going to be 4th and long for Holy Spirit.
I'm drawing a blank, guys. Has Holy Spirit had to punt at all today?
No, they've not. They've been able to move the ball every time. This is the first time they've actually been stopped.
They'll have to punt here. 40 seconds left in the half.
4th and 13, yes.
You're listening to live coverage of Atlantic City Holy Spirit Thanksgiving Day. Tradition continues on a bright, beautiful, sunny day. It is cold, though.
Holy Spirit with the ball on their own 43-yard line, 4th down and about 12 yards to go. They are going for it.
He's
No,
going
I
to
guess
punt
he's
it.
punting. He looks like a quarterback. He didn't drop that far back, but it's a nice kick by Rafiki, and that's going to go all the way down. And it's down, and they were able to down it.
Whoa,
No.
the Viking picked it up.
Atlantic City picked up the ball.
Oh, they're calling it down, though.
It looked like Holy Spirit was about to down the ball on the 2nd-yard line. Whether they did or not, we couldn't tell. But the Atlantic
They
City
muffed it. They actually muffed it, Joe. And then the Atlantic City player picked it up and ran with it. The officials are now conferring. Atlantic City coaches are out on the field incensed because they're calling the play down, Joe. But the Holy Spirit players muffed the punt, and the Atlantic City player had right to the ball and ran.
Maybe they're talking about the ball possibly going into the end zone, because we'll see what happens here. They're talking right about the 2-yard line of Atlantic City. And it looks like it's going to be...
They're marking it Atlantic City ball. They have not yet instructed where they're going to place the ball.
I think they're moving it. Does it look like they're moving it out to the 20?
Up to there.
That's-
No, he's all the way up here.
No.
Up at the 40 or 50.
The player had the right to pick the ball up and to run it. Holy Spirit missed the opportunity to down the ball inside the 1.
Yeah.
That's a play where, Coach, they tried to do too much. At any time, they could have downed that ball on the 2 or the 3-yard line. They waited until it got to near the goal line. They tried to be too fine, and then the Atlantic City player was very, very heads up. He picked it up, and he took off. And they're going to give him very positive ground.
It's interesting, even in a game where one team's leading by a lot, strange things happen.
This is I've never seen that like that.
I've never seen that either.
But in real
Guys.
time, I saw him pick the ball up, and he had the right to do exactly what he did.
Well, we're starting over. that play didn't happen. That
So
play did not happen.
they're talking a mulligan. Joe Kelly, it's a mulligan. We're on the Fraser Golf Course.
All right, here we go. It looks like the Holy Spirit's going to punt it again with 4th down and 12 yards to go. That was strange.
That is strange.
We'll have to get some kind of.
In my whole
Did-
career, I've seen that happen.
This is not even a permitted call,
There's a nice kick again, all the way down to about the 6-yard line.
and they buried him.
And
he
the ball is
fumbled.
loose.
And Holy Spirit,
has picked up
it's
the
going to
ball
be a
in the end
touchdown,
zone.
guys. It is going to be a Holy Spirit
A Holy
touchdown.
Spirit
It is
touchdown.
single.
41-0.
With 0 time left in the half, guys.
It was a nice-looking kick by Rafiki. He took the snap on the punt, ran a little bit, kicked the ball. With the wind, it was able to go a long way, hit the ground a couple times. The Atlantic City receiver tried to pick up the ball, and it just went squirting out. And the Holy Spirit player jumped on it in the end zone.
Hey, Joe, you have coached. You have coached. You know the game. Coach Lou, you're a championship coach. How could that first punt be called back as a redo? Something happened that definitively need to be called on the field, whether it was a touchback, whether it was down by contact, whether the player deserved to pick it up and run.
Now they're calling that not a touchdown, but a touchback.
Back. And
Guys, this is madness right now.
it really is.
The player. Listen, the player caught the ball and he made a move. He did the textbook confirmed receipt, made a move, and then he was hit and he fumbled. It's a touchdown.
This is mind-boggling.
This is
what has
madness.
happened in
It's
the
madness
last
out
couple
here.
minutes.
And between you and I don't know that many rules, but after being involved in all these years, I have never seen
Right.
two
And-
plays like this in a row.
And now my score sheet, guys, I've kept a very pretty score sheet. I now have to cross out a touchdown.
Now we've decided to just call at the end of the half and go inside and warm everybody up. And we believe the score is 35-0 Holy Spirit. That's what the scoreboard says right now.
And that is the official score of the game, guys. And can you, when you go into the locker room, Coach, and you're losing 35-0, what do you tell a team? What do you tell them?
Well, it's interesting you bring that up. One of my things in life was how do you get people to be the best they can be? Is it through exhortation? You guys really blah, 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 blah. Or you try to appeal to their sense of pride, to be the best you can. Now, I don't know if you can pick up 35 points in a half, but you try to get them to at least come out and show some kind of spirit.
And isn't that what it is at the end of the day, Coach? We're not here to win and lose football games. We're here to develop some fine young men in our community.
Exactly.
And then what you want is you want them to come out, though, and to play hard.
Sure.
And, of course, this is a game you don't want anyone to get hurt because you don't want Atlantic City to have an injury, and you certainly don't want to have Holy Spirit have an injury with such a big game coming up in about 8 or 9 days or 10 days when they play on December 8th against DePaul for the state championship. Guys, this was very interesting. Holy Spirit, in the pregame show, we talked about would Holy Spirit run? Yes, they did. Would Atlantic High be able to throw? No, they couldn't. Would Atlantic High be able to move the ball? They could not. They had one stretch where they had two first downs, as Joe announced as our play-by-play giant here on the broadcast team. Holy Spirit scored the first touchdown with 9:19 left in the first quarter. At the 0-0-0 mark of the first quarter, they scored a second touchdown to go ahead 14-0. In the second quarter, at the 9:40 mark, they made it 21-0. And then on a Dawson interception return for a TD at 8:43 left in the second quarter, guys, they made it 28-0. And then at 4:41 left in the second quarter, they made it 35-0. And honestly, they did score a touchdown at the end that the officials took off the board. I don't even know how to comment. I don't even know how to describe those last two plays, because how did they have to repunt the ball? What happened? What the official didn't signal what he called there. It was like a mulligan.
I think it was a diversion between the referees, and they decided then let's take the play early.
Yeah.
But what? Think about it though. What rule is there in the rule book? You'd either have to call a touchback, you'd have to call the ball down inside the 1 or 2 yard line, or that the Atlantic High player had the right to pick up the ball and run it, which he did. It can't be, hey, let's kick it again. But I guess they didn't defend the Viking player running the ball, so they weren't going to award an sort of an obscure amount of progress that they probably didn't even know what yard line he made it to.
I guess the good thing is that this is happening during the Thanksgiving game, that while it means a lot, doesn't mean a lot in the end, and it's not the high school football championship game.
And in a game that's 35-0 where no one call is going to decide this game.
Right.
But it was strange.
By the way, I mentioned earlier in the show about new age thinking. People make mistakes. That's just like me. I always do that.
Absolutely.
New age people, they
He
change a
had
couple of
possession.
words.
He made a move. It's absolute
Atlantic
fumble.
City can get their players to think more positive for the second half.
By the way, because we have Matt Ulmer's stream, they did review the stream, and it was clearly a fumble.
Right.
He possessed the ball. He made a move forward. Then he was hit, and then the ball came out, and the ball came out into the end zone. The Spartans fell on it, which it was a touchdown.
I have a feeling we're going to see a little bit different game in the second half. I'm really excited to see Prevard come out and throw in the second half when he has the wind at his back.
This is the quarter, Joe.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see a little bit different look from Atlantic
And
City.
probably Holy Spirit is going to play some different players. They were guys. You have to just give credit where credit is due. They were great on both sides of the ball.
Right.
Their defense was awesome. They made it impossible for Atlantic City to move the ball, and their offense was very, very solid. And what a great running game they have. Remember a couple years ago when they had the two-headed monster? I forget their two names, but they were phenomenal. College talent running backs. These guys, and Joe's saying their names, these guys, they're hard to stop.
They really are.
It's been a very enjoyable game to watch in terms of if you're a Holy Spirit fan, to watch the team be able to move the ball and be able to see them stop on defense and just execute on both sides of the ball and on special teams here this morning so far.
Is there anything that Atlantic City can do to get back in this game?
One of the things you used to say, you just go back and try to get back into a game plan, revise the game plan as much as possible, and just take it one play at a time. That seems like stupid to say that, but you try and see how you can do it. Let's score a touchdown. Let's score 2 touchdowns.
Well,
and make it look like we played a decent game.
Exactly. You want to be credible because they are a good football team and they're well coached, so they're gonna take care of their business. This first possession is huge. Remembering that Atlantic City deferred at the beginning of the game, they'll receive the ball in the third quarter. They'll have the wind at their back in the third quarter. The first possession is enormous. They cannot go 3 and out and give the ball back to Holy Spirit, who then will run 5 minutes off the clock at least and probably score a touchdown on their first possession. Atlantic City, you almost don't want to look at it this way, but they have to score on the first possession.
In the beginning of the game, Prevard was not in there as a quarterback at start. I believe they put the senior Don Daniel in
Correct.
there to start the game. So it'll be interesting to see Prevard get out there. You can kind of see the play start to develop when he was in there in the second quarter. Some of the passing plays start to develop, but with the wind at his back, maybe they can spread the Holy Spirit offense or defense a little bit more, and maybe they can work to get that ball down the field through the air if they have to.
Yeah, I agree with you, Joe. I think they're going to move the ball, and I agree with you also that Prevard is the guy, especially with the wind. He's thrown some pretty good passes, but against the wind, you just have no ability to be precise.
Right.
I mean, the ball's just taking off, or you throw it higher and you throw it faster, harder, and you just can't really get your timing down. I think he is going to be able to move it, and I also think Holy Spirit's going to not let down, but they're going to just play a little softer. They're going to play some additional players. It is the Thanksgiving Day game, and you want to get players in that maybe don't get to play a whole lot, and it's a nice opportunity to do that. But you got to tip your cap to Holy Spirit. They came here today. They had a plan. They worked it. They're here to win, and they have put on quite a show here in the first half.
A lot of times you respect these stuff for the coaches that are up in the press box near where we are, and they come into the locker room and give some feedback of what they think the coaches should be doing.
Let me tell you, there's at least 5 or more DePaul coaches, scouts here at Dr. Jack Eisenstein Stadium today, and they're going to go home with a little bit of stomach agita because this is an outstanding football team. And don't think it's lost on DePaul that Atlantic City did everything except beat Eastern in that NJSIAA playoff game, coming down to the last couple of seconds in the game, and they're on the 4-yard line with a chance to upset them, and they lost just a crushing 32-26 heartbreaker. And Holy Spirit is just having their way here today.
The score is 35-0. We're at the half. Holy Spirit up on top of Atlantic City. Again, 35-0 on a brisk, very windy day here at Atlantic City High School, and the wind certainly has played a part in what's been.
We're ready. Ready for business. ready for relaxation, ready for your stay. Are you ready for your Ocean City, New Jersey vacation? Ocean City is ready for you.
What do you love about the Wildwoods?
I love the water slide. Great shopping.
The tram car!
Beautiful free beaches. Boogie boards.
Vikings! The ride! Games! Free concerts!
We love everything.
Visit wildwoodsnj.com/love to share your stories, photos, and videos for a chance to win great prizes and get your free Wildwoods vacation guide with over $400 in valuable coupons.
So Atlantic City will move the ball because Prevard is going to move it, and he is more effective in the aerial game, and also they're going to have the wind in the third quarter, and they're going to be playing against some different players. Joe, some additional comments about the first half?
Well, I think it kind of went as we expected, but we didn't expect Holy Spirit to be this successful. They were able to move the ball on the ground a lot. They only threw it in the air maybe once or twice. But they did what they had to do in this football game, and on defense as well.
You can see their senior experience is on display.
You know, one of the things about I noticed right near the end there at Atlantic City running the ball, and when they had the ball, that the quarterback was getting some input from the coaches from the sidelines about what plays to check off there.
Let me just take a moment to once again thank our presenting sponsors today, making it possible for us to spend this time with you today on Thanksgiving Day at the 85th Annual Atlantic City High School, Holy Spirit High School Thanksgiving Day rivalry game, these precious Thanksgiving Day rivalry games that we should never take for granted. There's NJSIAA action that was going to be taking place on December 2nd that I think is going to tip the hand as to the future of a lot of this stuff. I questioned Frank Campo in our day before Thanksgiving Day annual interview, and I said, if you're doing the schedule for next year, is the Atlantic High Holy Spirit game on Thanksgiving Day on that schedule? And he didn't even hesitate. Unequivocally, he said, yes, it's on the schedule, but this is definitely something to take a look at because the NJSIAA wants a certain amount of days in between playoff games from regular season games, and if you need 17 days between some of those games, having a game at the end, the fourth Thursday of November, is very challenging because, let's face it, November 28th to December 8th is not 17 days. So, the math is, I think, very ominous here. But the Thanksgiving Day rivalries for now seem to be preserved for maybe the next 2 years. But this is something that I think the community needs to come together and say that we don't want to go 1 or 2 years at a time and not know what's happening. We want to know that this is a solid tradition that's going to continue. And you see the number of people here today, the number of people that are listening on WPG Talk Radio 1450 and watching the stream at WPG1450.com, at 97.3 ESPN.com. This is something the community wants to see more of. And we thank Senator Jeff Andrew, our banner presenting sponsor. We thank the City of Atlantic City, Shore Medical Center Health Foundation, Vince Palestina and Associates, Unite Here Local 54, Assemblyman John Amadeo, Assemblyman Chris Brown, Bill Hughes Jr. for Congress, the Klein Construction Company, Chuck Malamut, Cooper Levinson Law Firm, the Mays Landing Golf and Country Club, the Auto Plaza, that's Egg Harbor Township, Marmora, and the Galloway Township stores, Fred and Ethel's Lantern Light Tavern, the Shore Agency, presented by Nancy and Kirk Conover, Fred Nichols, the former Atlantic City Superintendent of Public Schools, the Schultz Hill Foundation, and Atlantic City Electric. With Joe Kelly, our play-by-play master, and also the coach, Lou Paludi. It's Early in the Morning, live from Dr. Jack Eisenstein Stadium. It's 21 minutes past the hour of 11 on your Thanksgiving morning. And, guys, great to spend this time here with you today.
With you as well. Now, before we started the broadcast, Coach Lou was sharing with us some pictures from his archives when he was coach. And you have a picture in there with a turkey. Tell us, obviously we can't show the turkey picture on the radio, but Tell us what's
and Joe,
that all
when you
about?
see the turkey again, is it not one of the biggest turkeys you've ever seen?
It's the biggest turkey
Yes,
I've ever seen.
I said on air yesterday that turkey could walk you on a leash. You wouldn't be walking it.
Oh, we used to go to the 4-H fair in Mays Landing there.
Yeah.
Please direct your attention to the
It was like
center
a
track.
huge, I think we weighed about
In front of
45
the home
pounds.
bleachers,
And
Atlantic City High
we
School
had always had a
cheerleaders.
girl manager. If you see the lead on
Captains
the
of the
leg
cheerleaders
there,
this year
they were
are
walking around
Angelica
practice for the whole
Alley.
week.
With the turkey.
And we called Victor the turkey. And rather than
And cheerleaders.
always being guy faces, I tried to
Company
motivate them to
Rockwell
relax a little bit. Is
Diana
to say,
Brown.
guys,
Jakira Calloway.
we're playing the
Joanna
game.
Denby.
If we lose the
Cindy
game,
Gibbs.
the other team
Alita
gets
Khan.
to eat Victor for Thanksgiving. So,
Rashada
please,
Newsom.
Brady, I mean, come on,
Raquel
coach,
White,
come on,
and
relax.
Katina Wilson.
So that's all we're missing today is a turkey.
Hey, guys, I'm going to turn my microphone over to Mike Gill just to get some observations from Mike about the first half. Mike, I'm going to turn my mic over to you. A Holy Spirit clinic in the first half.
Absolutely. I mean, as I told you before, Joe, get ready to run the ball a whole heck of a lot, and that's basically all they needed to do. They ran the ball, and I just did. We're doing a red zone over on 97.3 with updates from all the games, and I called in. I said, they could give the ball to Dennis, he could be the star. They can give the ball to Gerald, he would be the star. They can give the ball to Dawson, he could be the star. They could virtually pick which guy they want to be the main guy on any particular day. Or the quarterback, Anderson, could keep it himself and he would be the star.
I think it really keeps the defense off guard when there's so many guys in the backfield at the same time that can carry the ball. It's hard to key on who you think is going to get the ball.
Well, that's the whole foundation of this offense. And you know what? Initially, when Coach Iannucci got here, they had a lot of talented players that decided, I don't want to do this, and left the program and said, I don't want to be in this type of offense. It takes a mentally tough kid, a very smart and kid who really wants to do this. But when you see it work, it's flawless. When it works at its best, it's so hard to stop. And you got the kid Anderson, who's virtually a defensive end playing quarterback. It's so hard to stop him. And they have so many good athletes. They're putting on, as Harry said, a clinic today.
And sometimes when a play happens, the best player in that play is the guy who isn't getting the ball, who's the decoy for that play.
Well, and that's all started by the quarterback, too, putting it in the belly of Dennis and then pulling it out and deciding that he wants to keep it, or giving it to Dennis and seeing that there's a crease there and letting Dennis run with it, or making that pitch or in the fake to the wing back who's coming up inside, faking it to him and then pitching it to – when you're defensively trying to figure out who the key is, there's so many keys. There's not the one key. When you're running the eye – there's a fullback and a halfback. You key on the fullback. There's one guy to key on. Here, you got too many guys to key on. And Atlantic City's very young, and you don't see this offense all the time. So it's tough to prepare for a 1 week situation.
On the other side of the ball, we see Prevard try to throw a couple of passes here in the second quarter. They weren't successful, but you can certainly see that he has a lot of talent there. And maybe in this third quarter, when the wind's going the other way, he's going to be able to move the ball.
Yeah, and Prevard has played well all season long. There's a plethora of sophomore quarterbacks and even freshmen that are playing at the varsity level in the Cape Atlantic League, and he's maybe one of the top ones at his game right now. I was told he didn't start the game today basically because there was a senior that he wanted to give that opportunity to. So he and that showed some maturity there to say, hey, let him play his last game. But he is one of the more talented players in this league, and obviously 2 years down the road, Holy Spirit might be in a situation where they're saying, we're facing this kid today. And hopefully he has a better second half. For Atlantic City, it's when you get down like that, sometimes it's just like a snowball and it starts rolling, and bad things just kept happening to them. They fumble, a punt barely goes anywhere. They get backed up into their own end zone, bad field position. It's not where you want to be against this Holy Spirit team.
And your thoughts on the final two punts of the game?
Well, what I was told was the first punt, there was an inadvertent whistle.
Oh, gotcha.
It was why they had to punt the ball a second time. So virtually Atlantic City kind of got the short end of the stick on that one, because it looked as if there was some clear sailing down the sideline, but an inadvertent whistle is why they repunted that ball. And then they lucked out that they ended up getting a touchback instead of a touchdown. Because I was calling into the station to give an update that it was 41-0, and then as they put me on the air, they were taking the points off the board. So at this stage of the game, obviously the score is not where Atlantic City wanted to be, but you're getting another half of football. Some of the seniors, this is the last time they're ever going to play a football game. And hopefully for Atlantic City, they can get a good, strong second half here because they got a lot of young players, and they can build off that for next year's game against Holy Spirit, because Holy Spirit's going to lose 18 to 19 seniors.
Prevard in the beginning of the game, he's only a sophomore. He looked a little bit better, but as the game went on, he started to get it together a little bit more.
He did, yeah, and the wind in his face as a sophomore saying, I got to throw into this is not probably what he woke up today hoping to do.
What do you expect to see from Holy Spirit in the second half? A lot of players that haven't been on the field?
Yeah, Joe, they have a game next week in the state finals that I believe will be on 1450 AM. They're playing DePaul Catholic, who I believe at this stage is number 2 in the state. I would assume you're going to see Andrew Light play quarterback, who took over for TJ Anderson a couple of weeks ago when he got hurt. And you'll probably see a lot of the younger Spartans running backs into the game so that you can get a glimpse of what next year's Thanksgiving Day game might look like. But I would assume Holy Spirit's in a spot now where they're going to want to keep guys healthy for that state championship game next weekend. That game's at Rutgers, by the way, at 1 o'clock on Sunday.
Sounds exactly true. Coach, what are your thoughts as we're getting closer to the second half here? What are your thoughts as we get closer to the second half?
Oh, it's interesting. I think you kind of pulled it out that Spirit will be protecting, some of his players, but you don't want to just take anything for granted, so they'll go along a little bit. But be more under control and be a little more conservative.
Mike, have you seen a game recently where the wind has played this much of a factor in the game?
The weather this year for the football games we do on Friday nights has been, other than one Friday, we had a nice rainstorm up at Eastern and Williamstown. I have not seen the wind like this, where you're literally punting the kickoff. If you remember the Holy Spirit kick, they kicked it from the 40, it went to the other 40, and then blew back to the 45-yard line. That gives you an indication. Plus, Franco Rafici's kicking the ball through the end zone.
I said earlier, 10 years from now, he's going to be telling the story about all these kickoffs he went through the end zone on a perfectly clear, soft, calm day.
Right. Somebody's getting recruited to play quarterback, and then the college coach is saying, man, this kicker's got a pretty strong leg. But, yeah, the wind, to give you an indication, the wind is, you got the Holy Spirit kicker kicking it out of the end zone, and the Atlantic City punter barely can get it 30 yards into the wind. So that has been a big factor. The weather's been great throughout most of the season. We did have rain on one Friday night, but other than that, I really can't remember where the wind has been a factor like it is here today. And I would assume that's a big problem for Atlantic City, as we said in the pregame. They throw the ball almost every single time, and they're really struggling having to throw the ball this much today.
I know you've heard about some of the other games going on this morning. How are they going?
The last I heard, Millville was up 13-0, but that was about 10 minutes ago, and I'm assuming Millville has extended that lead. I know Mainland. Yep, and Mainland was winning over EHT. That was a 7-0 game, and Cedar Creek was actually in the lead over St. Augustine. That was early too. So I'm about to get the updates here, and I'll let Harry know.
Great,
Mike. Thank you so much for your value-added participation. Let me take this opportunity to welcome the mayor-elect of Atlantic City, Don Guardian. Mayor, what an amazing victory, huh?
Thank you, Harry. Really wonderful. I'm very grateful for everyone that wants to see a change in our city. Just need to be working now to bring everyone together to make some of those promises become reality.
Mutual friends of ours told me you literally knocked on 4,000 doors in Atlantic City. That happened, didn't it?
Yes, absolutely. I realized that I needed to hear from people what their needs were. And I have to be honest, Harry, I thought as you went across city and went across economic boundaries that the issues would change a whole lot. And they really hadn't. So people are concerned about jobs and about taxes and about clean streets and being safe.
It's one thing to run. It's another thing to run and win. And it's another thing to run, win, and then be ready to lead. Are you ready, January 1st of the new year, to lead the executive branch of Atlantic City?
So tough question. There was the candidate period. Now I call myself the sponge. So I'm listening to what everyone has to say, and then, I'll be governing on January 1. I think what we're lucky with is that there are the people in leadership positions, municipal leadership positions in the state that have been looking to Atlantic City for a number of years. And so they're very excited about what they see as huge changes that are on the horizon. They want to be part of it. So we haven't an advertisement for just about every director position that is going throughout the state, so that we can be assured that we're finding the best qualified individuals. So I think that's the first part of it. But I want to tell you, from the Casino Association to the governor to Senate President Sweeney to our new senator alone, that we just were able to spend 30 or 45 minutes together yesterday with. But we're all on the same. But we're all in the same plan, and I think you'll see some real exciting things coming up.
Kickoff is about to happen to start the second half. We're with Atlantic City Mayor-elect Don Guardian. What do you hope in terms of your relationship with City Council? Because obviously the executive branch, the co-equal branch of the legislative branch, what are your thoughts about working with City Council?
So I think it's twofold. One is I can't get my cell phone charged without their approval. They control the financing, so I see a very amicable relationship. I think once they realize that I'm going to be able to generate several $100 million of support coming from the county, state, and federal government, I think we're all going to be on the same page, because what we want to do is going to be the same: paving streets, lighting, making it safer, improving programs for our kids. But
before we run out of time, as executive director of the Atlantic City Special Improvement District, you've had a great reputation, for working with people, getting things done, bettering the city. Does that, and I think you were just sort of saying it, Mayor, does that transcend into your new role, now responsible for not just a part of Atlantic City, but for all of Atlantic City?
Yep, Harry, everyone was so concerned that I was somehow taking all of the people at the CID or CRDA, bringing them over the city. That's just not going to happen. I need to rely on the CID and CRDA to continue taking care of the half of the city that they're doing now, being strong, so I can concentrate on the other half. But Harry, before my time runs up, I just want to wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving. Hope they have a wonderful weekend. I want to thank you for allowing me a little bit of time to talk to Radioland.
Mayor, congratulations, and let's get you on early in the morning when your time permits soon.
Absolutely, Harry. I think maybe sometime in January I'll be able to have some more concrete plans on what we're going to be doing. I'd love to come on.
Good to be with you, Mayor. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
I love his answer, Harry, that it's time to be a sponge right now, Mayor.
Yeah.
It's time to be a sponge, figure out what you're going to do. We're still at halftime of Atlantic City and Holy Spirit football, Thanksgiving football, and it's Holy Spirit up with a big lead, 35-0, after a very dominating first half.
Guys, as brilliant, sunny, and warm as it is in this press box, I can tell you I spent 10 minutes outside with my people. It is cold out there. Yes, with my people. It is cold out there. Very deceiving in here. But a brilliant, brilliant sunny day here at Dr. Jack Eisenstein Stadium. You know, look, I would love a closer game, guys, but it's great to be here with you. This is a spectacle. The community is so positive out there, even though the score is lopsided. It's just a great day to be here.
One of the best things about the day is that the Atlantic City School Board has chosen, or did choose several years ago, to make sure that there's heating in the press box, and that was a great move by them.
Smart dialogue there, Joe Kelly. No mistake that you're number one in the metro market with words like that.
And one quick thing, like you were just mentioning, Harry, a guy who was listening to the game on the radio from the Holy Spirit side in the stands, a former coach, Jim Gallagher, walked over to say what a nice job it was listening to it.
Well, you do a great job. It's nice to hear. Very kind of them. I think this is one of the toughest locker rooms to emerge from to start the third quarter when you are down by 35 points and nothing has gone your way, but at least you are receiving the ball.
And between you and they did come out fairly aggressive and exhilarating, so the coach did try to get them together. I'm pretty sure of that.
The event is sponsored by the Absegami High School and the National Football.
And we're getting ready to start the second half. Holy Spirit will be kicking off. Again, so windy that the kicker needs somebody to hold the ball instead of just sitting it on a tee.
As you know, I mean, I've referenced it. I took a walk outside and I saw the Holy Spirit program. I saw the Atlantic City program too, and you can just see it's not a cockiness. There's a swagger to this team. There's like a state championship swagger. Like they know they're good, but they don't act like they're good. It's just a very solid vibe that they throw off.
By the way, look at this. I've never seen a team with 3 guys deep to catch the ball now because they've been kicking so far. There were 3 deep guys.
Ball comes down to Isaiah Graves. He takes the ball at about the 5-yard line. He's moving to about the 25-yard line of Atlantic City. So a pretty good return for Atlantic City. Nice kick by Rafiki. It was Isaiah Graves on the return. Took the ball about the 5-yard line and came out to the 25-yard line. So a good start for Atlantic City here in the second half.
Yeah, good field position with that wind.
There is a flag on the play.
Oh, and there's a flag also.
Looks like it's against Atlantic City. So much for the good start. They'll have to move the ball back.
Preliminary signal is a block below the waist.
Block below the waist for Atlantic City. And that'll move back the ball a big 15 yards.
Do you mean a black block in the back behind? Or you're not allowed to block your leagues below the waist?
That must have been it. All right, the ball on the 12-yard line for Atlantic City. Quick pass to the right.
Look at that.
To Ahmad Williams. Wow. He's got a pickup of about 8 yards for Atlantic City.
You notice how Holy Spirit gang tackles? One player hits the spot, joined by another player, by another player, by another player. They have great pursuit to the ball.
Be about second down at about 3 or 4 yards for Atlantic City as we start the second half here.
Pass by Prevard to White for a gain of 7 yards.
There was Dennis White on the reception. Prevard takes the ball, bootleg left. Still looking to throw, but is down in the backfield.
That just looked like a play that never developed. That
Something
was very, very odd. Almost like he thought the play was halted by the official. He kind of stopped.
That's another loss of 5 yards. That's going to bring up third down and about 8 yards to go for Atlantic City. Going against the wind here in the third quarter again.
Yeah, I'm going to do that too. I'm actually turning our heater down, guys. I'm following Joe Tosh's
it's 29 degrees
instructions
outside. We're
next
too
door.
Hot inside. All right, Prevard back to throw. Rolling right, looking deep. There's the throw.
Is it intercepted?
It looked like it was intercepted.
And was he in bounds?
That's the question.
Incomplete.
Incomplete is what it's ruled. That'll bring up fourth down for Atlantic City. The ball on their own 12-yard line. They'll be forced to punt against the wind again. 10 minutes left in the third quarter. Holy Spirit up 35-0. Atlantic City will have to punt here on fourth down, and it's been an adventure every time going against the wind.
1 year ago today, guys, we were here. We were at Burns Stadium, and it was always within one touchdown the entire game. Big difference.
Looking at a punch on fourth down. There's the snap, and the kick is up, and it's very low. Gets some yardage on that, though. It goes all the way down to about the 40-yard line of Atlantic City. It's almost a 30-yard kick. It wasn't pretty, but it did the work.
But I'll tell you what, Joe and Coach Lou, he meant that. He knew he could not put that ball up into the air. He meant that.
So he actually kicked it 50 yards. He was 10 yards deep.
Very impressive. 50 yards far and 10 feet high.
It'll give Holy Spirit the ball on the Atlantic City 41-yard line. First and 10 to go.
4-0. That's 042840. Report to the press box.
And Anderson still behind, still the quarterback, and pick up about 3 yards a run right up the middle for Holy Spirit. We'll see how long Anderson's going to stay in the game before they take him out.
They've been running that counter play pretty well. It sets up the outside play as they watch the quarterback fake.
By the way, I meant to make a mention to my grandson during halftime, but I was out busy with my people outside in the Eisenstein Stadium outdoor
I wish I had people.
after party. Yeah, my people are just wonderful. My grandson Noah drew a beautiful picture that's here in the press box.
For Holy Spirit, and gain of about 3 yards.
A little short of the first down.
Dondre Dennis on the carry for Holy Spirit. Bring him about third down and 1 yard to go. How do you even get people, Harry?
You know what happens?
It's one thing
to
have people. But how do you even get people?
It just, you know what it is? It's just when you're a man of the people, it just gravitates.
About third down and 1 or 2 yards to go for Holy Spirit. Ball on the 32-yard line of Atlantic City. One receiver split left. Ball right up the middle, carry right up the middle. Looks like Dondre Dennis a little bit, and looks like he comes up short.
Wow, that's unusual. There is a little bit of a turnaround here, Harry, defensively there.
Noah just texted me, guys, through his grandma, that he loves me, and he drew a beautiful football field, and he has a picture of me and his other grandfather, Dr. Baker, who's over on the Holy Spirit sideline, and he drew the football field with a happy Thanksgiving Day message. Do you see it, guys?
That's very nice.
And I've had it up in the window the whole game. Thank you, Noah.
They're going to have to measure here to see if he made the first down. Looks like he's short from here.
I thought he was well short, but we weren't way on the left.
That looked like a very nice spot, and that's going to be a first down.
First down.
How about that?
First down for the Spartans.
First down for Holy Spirit. Ball about the 30-yard line of Atlantic City.
You know, Mama said there'd be days like this, guys, where you miss a first down. It took them 10 seconds to study whether it was a first down. It was so close. Not even one chain link difference. You put a credit card in between, and Holy Spirit makes it by one chain link.
All right, Anderson with the give right up the middle to Talib Gerard, and he picks up about 8 yards on the phone or on the play.
I see they changed the cadence there. They got a quick opener play there.
Gain of 7 yards.
They call it 7 yards, so it's going to be second down and 3 yards to go for Holy Spirit. Talib Gerald on the run. He's had a busy day in the backfield for Holy Spirit.
Two names that you've said many times today, Joe.
And it's give right up the middle to Gerald again. And this time, looks like he came up short of the first down. Only about a yard on that carry. That'll bring up third down and about 1 or 2 yards to go for Holy Spirit. Again, if you're just joining us, the first half was all Holy Spirit. 6:14 left in the third quarter. Holy Spirit leads 35-0. All the points so far in the first half. Third down, about 2 yards for Holy Spirits. T.J. Anderson still in at quarterback. Joe Debo out wide left. Third down, 2 yards to go. Give up the... No, Anderson keeps it. Goes around left. He does pick up the first down. About 5 or 6 yard gain on the play for Anderson. Again, it's another play where, Coach, you've got 4 players in the backfield, and any one of them can take the ball and run.
Absolutely. And he is a big, strong guy. What, 6'2", 200-something pounds. So really good size.
Ball about the 15-yard line. First and 10 for Holy Spirit, as they're going to try to run up the score here in the third quarter.
042891. Please bring your winning ticket up to the press box.
First down, receiver wide out right. Give and go right up the middle to Rafiki, and flag is down on the play. Rafiki picked up about 7 or 8 yards.
Flag on the play.
And the flag is illegal procedure for Holy Spirit. That'll bring the play back.
They picked the speed of the counts up, and I guess they're not used to it on the line there. Quick counts, right, Harry?
Exactly, Coach. And Holy Spirit really gobbles time off on Thanksgiving Day, don't they?
Very good. Very good.
Thank you, Joe.
A lot of times they usually draw the other team off. Said blue 28.
So it'll be first and 15, ball about the 20-yard line of Atlantic City for Holy Spirit. T.J. Anderson still in at quarterback. They're up 35-0. There's a pitch left to Rafiki. Rolls, turns, spins, picks up maybe 3 or 4 yards on the play. That'll bring up second down at about 11 or 12 for Holy Spirit.
I feel like I'm at Disney World today. You've said Rafiki so many times, Joe.
He's had quite a day here.
Yes.
He is a senior.
Good all-around player from what I
Certainly has been. They call it second down at about 12 for Holy Spirit.
Already 8 minutes run off the clock in this third quarter, Harry.
They're killing it. I mean, it's incredible.
Anderson under center. Snap, looks back, looking right. There's the pass.
Wow, look at that come together.
Oh, nice catch.
And it's caught.
Touchdown.
Looks like Jordan Taylor.
You know the expression thrown on a rope? I mean, that's what that looked like.
Beautiful pass from Anderson. I believe it's Jordan Taylor.
Perfect spiral, led the player. I mean, just magnificent execution. First score of the second half at 4:03 mark of the third period.
Was Jordan Taylor on the catch? So here's Rafiki looking for his 6th extra point of the game. We have been calling his name a lot.
Certainly have.
Franco Rafiki. And there's the snap. The kick with the wind at his back. It's up and it's good. So Holy Spirit now out front. 4 minutes left in the third quarter. 42-0, Holy Spirit.
A lot of times in high school, guys, kicking is a weakness where they attempt extra points but can't make them, or they don't even try to attempt and they'll go for the 2 because they don't have a kicking game. He's just effortless. He's got a very nice just fulcrum. He's solid on everything he does.
Harry, it's funny you should say that because having coached at the college level also, having a special teams coach is so important because he grooms the people. So evidently whoever is coaching him is really doing a good job. He has the talent.
And he's getting a lot of practice today, too.
Lots of kickoffs, lots of extra points for Holy Spirit.
I mean, I'm just going to say it. I didn't expect this. I knew Holy Spirit was great. Believe me, I felt Holy Spirit would win the game. But Atlantic City is a good program. They're well coached, and they have really had a great second half in particular. This is unexpected.
All right, it's Holy Spirit kicking off to their own 40-yard line again. Franco Rapici and kicks it down to about the 5-yard line, but Isaiah Graves picks it up for Atlantic City. He's got a good run going. He's all the way to the 35, to the 40, the 45, and he's brought down right about midfield by Joe Debo for Holy Spirit. So a nice run back for Isaiah Graves.
Biggest play of the game for Atlantic City.
Very nice. 49-yard punt return is what they call, or kickoff return is what they call it. So that'll set up Atlantic City with almost the best field position. They had the one play down at the Holy Spirit 20, but they ruined that on a turnover. Let's see if they can take advantage of the nice field position here in the third quarter. Jamir Prevard in at quarterback. Or no, it wasn't Prevard. It's Daniels back in. Don Daniel in quarterback.
A running play there, and one of the things you do need balance, Harry. You can't just be all passing, all running. And
True, and they're against the wind, so it's very difficult to throw at this point.
It's Don Daniel, the senior back in the quarterback for Atlantic City. We got 4 receivers, 2 split on each side. Daniel back to pass. Here's the rush by Holy Spirit.
Wow.
It was thrown and almost caught by an offensive lineman, and they're going to call a flag there.
Yeah, we'll call him an ineligible receiver, Joe.
Yeah, he looked like he didn't want to catch the pass either.
Joe, if you're Coach Lou, if you're Holy Spirit right now, you start to, you can even like daydream a little because the game is out of hand. You start to then try to motivate yourself to maybe go for the shutout. These are things you have to. It's tough for Coach Kelly right now. Also, Coach Iannucci has challenges with this kind of lead.
He really does. You're right. I'm trying to make sure because people will be questioning, well, why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? So it is, and he has a good way about him, though, I think, to handle it.
Coach, they say the turkey doesn't taste. Coach Weiss always told me this. Turkey doesn't taste well on a Thanksgiving Day loss.
I like that.
Holy Spirit declined the penalty there, so it's a third down.
Going forward there.
Daniel back to pass. And he's brought down by a couple of Holy Spirit defenders.
I mean, that looked like a WWE takedown.
That was the loss of about 10 or 11 yards for Atlantic City.
A defensive tackle there, 52, was it?
He got lifted up off the ground and slammed.
Looked like Ray Ellis on the tackle for Holy Spirit.
Famous name. Wow. Famous name. His dad. You remember Ray Ellis, the father, don't you, Coach Lou? Very famous name right there.
He already has 8 8 college offers to go to college for the scholarship.
I've heard a lot of good things about him.
Javier Laura back to punt for Atlantic City at about his own 25-yard line. 4th down and a long way to go for Atlantic City here in the third quarter. Again, Holy Spirit up big time in this game, 42-0. There's the snap to the punter. He muffs it. He's going to have to. Oh, he able to pick it up and kick it and gets off a nice kick against the wind.
That's the best kick against the wind.
Very nice. Goes down to the 35-yard line of Holy Spirit before it's down by an Atlantic City player.
I watched basically 2 Holy Spirit defenders almost shocked that it was unfolding the way that it did. It looks like they could have gotten to the kicker.
He bobbled the ball, dropped it, and it looked like he was going to run, but he picked it back up and kicked it, and he got a nice kickoff.
Sure did.
So it'll be Holy Spirit ball on their own 35-yard line, 1st and 10. We have 1:05 to go here in the third quarter. Holy Spirit leads 42-0 on this Thanksgiving morning. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours.
Final minute of the third quarter.
And we have a new quarterback in there for Holy Spirit. It's Andrew Light, and it's a give up the middle. Pick up about 5 or 6 yards for Holy Spirit. Andrew Light now in as quarterback.
New quarterback, same
Holy
result.
Spirit, yeah.
They just move the ball. They move the chains. They eat up time.
You got a lot of great weapons there on the Holy Spirit offense.
So Coach Iannucci has heard you, Harry. He has his top starting quarterback out of there.
It's the smart play. You don't get anybody hurt. You let other people have the privilege of playing because it's a big game. You know, you don't want to go home with a pure white uniform. You want that uniform to have a little bit of play on it.
Light under center. It's give up the middle. Pick up about 2 or 3 yards.
I'll tell you, this is maybe, and that's the end of the third quarter, guys. This might be one of the high compliments you can pay to a program. They execute the same no matter which personnel are in the game. Usually you see like a discernible difference in how you could tell, oh, the starters are out. That quarterback, he looks solid right there.
A lot of confidence going Holy Spirit's way this morning.
Does a win like this make you feel real good, Coach Lou, going into your championship game?
Oh, it really does. And,
makes you feel like you can't be beaten.
And it also gives you a chance to tell the players to keep their helmets on. Don't get carried away with the ego and stuff like that.
Now, when you have it, that's a good point. When you have a big blowout, now you have to settle everybody down because you're playing DePaul on December 8th at Rutgers University. And that's another thing to consider. It's different playing in those college stadiums, isn't it? It's very big. It won't be that crowded. No matter how many people they bring, it's going to feel like, like sparse. It's a different atmosphere, isn't it?
Yeah, and one of the things you used to try to say, now this is the kind of experience you'll be getting at the college level, so you try to get them to say, oh, wow, okay, And you use little techniques, motivational techniques.
We're at the start of the fourth quarter, a 3rd and 2 for Holy Spirit on their own 42-yard line. Andrew Light in as quarterback. It's another give. Counter play, number 6 on Angelo Dawson with the run. Looked like he picked up the first down. Yes, he did. All the way up to the 48-yard line for Holy Spirit.
We thank our banner presenting sponsor, Senator Jeff Van Drew, for his sponsorship today, the City of Atlantic City, Shore Medical Center Health Foundation, that's Ron Johnson and his great team, Vince Palestina and Associates. Vince has always been a terrific supporter of all the community events that we do at Town Square Media and WPG Talk Radio 1450, Unite Here Local 54. I can say the same about Bob McDevitt and his team, and we'll share some more after the next down.
Andrew Light under quarterback, 1st and 10 for Holy Spirit. Ball almost to the midfield stripe. Again, give and go right up the middle. About a 3 or 4 yard pickup for Holy Spirit.
I see Atlantic City been having some good gang tackling though, at least. They haven't given up.
They haven't quit, and you got to respect that. We thank Assemblyman John Amadeo, Assemblyman Chris Brown, Bill Hughes Jr. for Congress, the Klein Construction Company, Chuck Malamut, Cooper Levinson Law Firm, the Mays Landing Golf and Country Club. Don't forget their tomorrow Black Friday sale, prices you won't see the rest of the year.
That was Dondre Dennis in the pickup on the first down carry of about 5 yards. Second down, about 5 yards to go for Holy Spirit, maybe 6. Light under center. And again, give and go right up the middle. Looks like it's close to a first down, another first down for Holy Spirit.
We also thank the Auto Plaza, Egg Harbor Township, Galloway Township, and Marmora, Fred and Ethel's Lantern Light Tavern in beautiful historic Smithville. That's been open since, the 1700s, Smithville. The Shore Agency, Kirk and Nancy Conover, Fred Nichols, the Schultz Hill Foundation, and Atlantic City Electric. So we're powered also by Atlantic City Electric today, and we thank them.
It was Dennis on the carry again for Holy Spirit, and it looks like he's just short of a first down. Or they're gonna measure it now.
I think that's going to be a first down.
They're gonna call it a first.
With my.
You have to move the chains the other way, guys. You have to move the chains then if they're going to call that a first down.
They didn't call it a first down though. Yeah.
Third down in inches. It looks like. Although from here it looks like it's a first down easy.
I thought it was.
Quarterback keeper
they
by
got
Light.
They got it now.
That's a first down.
I noticed that Holy Spirit's just running the ball now, using up the clock. It looks like they
just right straight up the middle.
Yeah.
This is a very professional, classy way to go about this.
Absolutely.
They're not, exploiting. You're right. They're not exploiting anything. They're just solidly going about their business and
They've run every play and every player in there so far. See the whole.
But they're consistent 5-minute plus type drives. I mean, you own the clock, Coach Lou.
Holy Spirit with the ball first and 10 on the Atlantic City 40-yard line. Holy Spirit comfortably up 42-0 here in the final period. Another give and go right up the middle. That's Dennis again. He gets through. He sees some running room. He's at the 15, the 10. Brought down right at the 5-yard line by Atlantic City. Dondre Dennis with another great run right up the middle for Holy Spirit. Broke several tackles on that play.
Testimony what Coach Lou said, though, Joe Kelly, and that's that Atlantic City has no quit in them because they pursued that. Mm-hmm. They could have easily just let down and he would have scored, but they did not allow that. That was character.
They'll put the ball right about the 5-yard line of Atlantic City. Holy Spirit rolling along in this football game.
Hey, guys, let me send a shout-out to Dr. John Baker. He's out there on the Holy Spirit sideline, one of the most talented orthopedic surgeons in the Delaware Valley, and he has been the Holy Spirit team doctor for the past 35 years, and this is his last Holy Spirit game, Atlantic High game, as their doctor.
Again, give right up the middle. And this time Atlantic City was waiting for him. A gain of maybe a yard, if that.
That was Dennis, right?
Dennis, number 44.
Yeah,
Dondre Dennis.
He has a 4.0 average in high school.
Very nice.
As a senior,
I think I had a .4 average as a senior in high school.
Guys, Holy Spirit is going to grab back the Boyd Marsick Trophy after 1 year of Atlantic High taking it back. Holy Spirit had won the previous 7 before that, 8 out of 10. They're going to get it back today. If you had to pick an MVP, who's the MVP of the game?
That's a great question, Harry. It's really been a team effort for Holy Spirit here this morning and leading into this afternoon now. Light under center, and another give up the middle. Again, Atlantic City was waiting for it, and no gain on the play. It was number 18. Number 18 on the run? Was that number 18? I don't have a number 18 for Holy Spirit. It's a flag on the play.
It's a new player that they signed today.
Off the practice squad.
As soon as we talked about the Boyd Marsick Trophy, literally it's been scooped up from our press box perch and getting ready to take it down onto the field for the on-field presentation. You want that trophy, and Holy Spirit's going to take it back today.
And the call is against Atlantic City.
He's a lying sack of shit. Don't listen to him. He's full of shit.
And we apologize for comments from coaches you might be able to hear in the background who aren't very happy at this moment. All right, that's going to bring up first down and goal from about the 3-yard line for Holy Spirit. Andrew Light in for quarterback for Holy Spirit.
Okay, sure. And also I'm inviting the Marsick Boyd families to join you.
We have one receiver split right.
Very good, thank you.
And there's a pitch left with the ball number 32. He gets in for the touchdown. Mike Giuliano, it looks like.
They draw up plays, Coach Lou, and they execute. The path he had on a 45-degree angle from the left pitch straight in, Very impressive. At the 6:46 mark of the fourth quarter, that's the first points of the fourth quarter. The second touchdown of the second half.
And that's Mike Giuliano, if we got that right. He's a senior from Linwood, getting the score for Holy Spirit there. Rafici coming back in to kick the extra point. To make it 49-0, Holy Spirit. This one is against the wind.
He'll make
tougher. He almost got it blocked there. Atlantic City defender got in, but it is up and it's good. And Holy Spirit now leads 49-0 with 6:46 left in the game here at Atlantic City High School. While this game has been a blowout, it doesn't seem like Atlantic City's been playing that terrible.
No,
it's just
they haven't quit.
Things haven't gone their way
exactly,
at all.
And you have to give them credit for still putting the full effort out. They've not quit. The spirit, the cheerleaders are cheering. The power marching band of Atlantic City is playing, and there's a lot of pride in this team. But this is a tough one to swallow. 49-0 is probably, without all the scores in front of us in 85 years, probably one of the most lopsided Thanksgivings we've seen.
And don't forget, last year we were up in the Holy Spirit State.
And it's 13-7.
Atlantic City won,
John Boyd is the man that taught me how to drive, guys.
Blame him.
Exactly.
He sent me to my his graduation to Temple. That's where he had played.
49-0. Holy Spirit up in this blowout game at Atlantic City High School. And Rafici was trying to kick without a holder on the kickoff, and that didn't work well. The ball fell down, but we're going to try it again without a holder.
Yeah, when they're with the wind or against the wind, they keep the ball.
Oh,
now they'll have somebody hold it.
They only have 11 guys, 10 guys out there.
Usually when it blows twice, the officials will let somebody hold it, and they are now.
Okay. So we're going to try the third time to kick off the ball in the wind, going against the wind.
For those not watching the stream, that was like Linus. That was like Linus and Lucy Van Pelt.
Well, after kicking the ball out of the end zone several times, going the other way, Rafici gets off maybe a 15-yard kickoff that looks like a punt again.
I thought I saw a flag too down there.
There was a lot of things flying in the air.
I saw something yellow in the air. I thought it was a flag at the far sideline. 2 kickoff attempts in a row. It was like Lucy Van Pelt when Charlie wants to kick the football and she pulls it away.
They did call offsides on
I'm
Holy Spirit.
Eagle eye here.
Looks like it's going to be declined, and Atlantic City will get the ball going with the wind.
6 minutes, 46 seconds left in today's game. Hope your Thanksgiving is off to a great beginning. We're very, very pleased and proud to be here with you. It's just after the 12 noon hour here at Atlantic City High School. That's that famous, we're going to snap it, no, we're not, Joe Kelly. And now we're going to talk to the coach, and now we're going to snap it.
Looks like Don Daniels still in there for quarterback for Atlantic City. I can't see the number from here. And it's an end around, left end, and it's sniffed out and caught by Holy Spirit.
Loss of about 4, Joe?
Yeah, at least.
By the way, I don't know which team it is in the pros. You hear the call up there when they're calling the signal, Omaha, Omaha, yelling something. They all have their own little signals.
It is Don Daniel back in at quarterback for Atlantic City in the fourth quarter. He's a senior.
It's second and 13, guys.
We have a player down on the field.
I hope there's no bad injury at this point of the game.
There's just no answers today for this.
No.
So Holy Spirit player looks like he kind of got the wind knocked out of him.
And until now, thus far, not a single injury in the game, which has been very, very fortunate.
Maybe some leg cramps the way they were working on his legs.
Harry, you mentioned the playoff game Atlantic High was in the Eastern.
Yes.
But it was 32-26, so they scored a lot more points than that. They gave up points, but they...
32-26, they lose. They also had a touchdown taken off the board, so they actually scored another touchdown, and they were...
Love about the Wildwoods.
I love the water slide. Great shopping.
The tram car.
Beautiful free beaches. Boogie boards.
Vikings.
Visit wildwoodsnj.com/love to share your stories, photos, and videos for a chance to win great prizes and get your free Wildwoods vacation guide with over $400 in valuable coupons.
It's a difference. And Holy Spirit will go to 11-0.
Howard, as you said earlier, this beautiful field out there, Atlantic City should be very proud that they have this in the stadium, and hopefully they'll be able to build on.
They will. They're young. I mean, there's a ton of sophomores out there. They're playing against 26 seniors. Coach Lou, if Holy Spirit wins against DePaul on December 8th at Rutgers University, will they go down as the greatest run of Holy Spirit championship teams ever?
Well, it's 4, and that would be for 3 is the most.
You did 3, and they've done 3 now.
Yeah.
4 would.
It'd be great, yeah.
The injured player Dennis was able to get up and is walking off the field under his own power, limping a little bit. Again, it looks like he's just kind of sore cramps. Atlantic City back with the ball. Second down, about
13
to go. Don Dennis is the quarterback for Atlantic City right now, or Don Daniel, excuse me.
I think in the old days, we used to send a guy in rather than give him all these signals, right?
Yes.
21 sweep, 48 power.
And you knew, and they were coached, and they knew. Oh, there we go. Holy Spirit.
Holy Spirit jumps off sides.
But were they drawn? No, it's going to go against Holy Spirit.
Yeah. What's happening, folks, is that Atlantic City looks like they're getting ready to start a play, and just as the ball is about to be snapped, the quarterback steps back and talks to the sidelines and gets the play.
And Holy Spirit was drawn off that time.
All right, Atlantic City up to the ball. For example, it looks like they're about to make a play, and they do. Quarterback Daniel back to pass over the middle, and it's caught. Reception for Atlantic City down to about the 45-yard line of Holy Spirit.
That has been in rare supply today, guys.
Douglas DeBerry on the reception. There's a first down for Atlantic City. So that was a nice-looking pass play right over the middle. 5 minutes left in this game. Holy Spirit out to a very comfortable 49-0 lead. Don Daniel in for quarterback. There's a pitch right, and it's a fumble. Ball is on the ground, and that's going to be a big loss for Atlantic City. And I don't think he's been touched yet, has he? Or they must have called him down earlier.
Yeah.
That's a big loss.
We just got an assist from some folks here right in our broadcast booth. Absegami leads Oakcrest in their big-time rivalry game. That used to be one school that split into 2, so there's a storied rivalry there. Absegami leading Oakcrest 44-6 late in their Thanksgiving Day game.
Atlantic City now has the ball 2nd and 26 on their own 39-yard line after a botched pitch play. Daniel back to pass for Atlantic City. Rolling right, looking right. He's going to run with it up to the 40, 45, 48-yard line. A good pickup of about 12 or 13 yards, it looks like, for Atlantic City. Almost to the midfield stripe. 4 minutes left in this game. 49-0. Holy Spirit way out in front. And we have the senior Don Daniel in as quarterback for Atlantic City. He started the game, came back in the fourth quarter here, or in the second half here. Atlantic City has, looks like 3 receivers, 1 right and 2 left. Daniel in the shotgun. Going back, looking pass. Here's the rush. There's a short screen pass. Looked like, I don't see who caught it there. Pickup of maybe 1 or 2 on the play for Atlantic City.
You know, you mentioned something about seniors. I remember in this game, the final game, you always used to try to get your seniors in to say they at least played in the
That's right.
last game.
About 3 minutes left now. Ball on the 49-yard line. It's 4th and 16 for Atlantic City.
And for the football, scholastic football enthusiasts, Mainland Regional High School leads Egg Harbor Township 21-6.
There's a lot of confusion on the Atlantic City side of the ball as they're calling the play from the sideline. And finally, Atlantic City calls a timeout. As it didn't look like anything was happening there as time was ticking off the clock.
Interesting why they'd be going for it on 4th and 16.
because there's 2 minutes and 39 seconds left in the game. They've scored no points, and they got nothing to lose. So you go for it. And you know the odds are when you're in a 4th and 16, rarely do you make that. But you do sometimes.
49-0. Holy Spirit way out in front of Atlantic City on this sunny Thanksgiving Day in Atlantic City High School. Beautiful new field. It's been a very cold and windy day, as certainly all the Atlantic City players and fans can attest to today.
I think I'd rather keep it under 50 though.
True. No, but it's true. When you get in a situation like this, you do things you otherwise wouldn't do because you'd never go for this under normal circumstances.
Looks like we have Prevard coming back in as quarterback, as quarterback on this play. So I'm looking for a big pass play here, a big pass attempt. Prevard is in the backfield as the quarterback. We've got 4 wide receivers, 2 on each side. And Prevard punts it. Gets off a nice kick.
After all that, Coach.
All the way down to the 8-yard line before it's down by an Atlantic City player.
Now, Lou, that's football.
That was a good call.
They did the right thing.
That was close to a 50-yard punt for Atlantic City. That's one to put on the resume for Jamir Prevard. Very nice.
The Holy Spirit's just going to run out the clock. Come on.
Holy Spirit has the ball on about their own 8 or 9 yard line. They're the officials are letting the clock run down to 2 minutes.
Doesn't it look like Holy Spirit has enough players? Oh, there they go.
Looks like this one is going to finish up with Holy Spirit winning 49-0.
I would call a dive up the middle when you think you pull back, right?
When we were looking for more Holy Spirit players, that's Coach bringing in some players to give them what you were talking about, Coach Lou, and that's the opportunity to play in an Atlantic High Holy Spirit Thanksgiving Day game.
Should be just a little handoff here.
And it is a handoff up the middle as Coach expected, and good play by Atlantic City on defense.
Anybody know who 18 is on Spirit?
I'll tell you, it might seem like a little thing, but I give them a lot of credit for that punt on 4th and long because they could have gone for it, thrown some pass, tried to get 16 yards, but they did a very fundamental thing there.
We're into the final minutes of play here at Atlantic City High School. Holy Spirit winning this game 49-0 and running the clock out with a couple more plays here in the end. And there's the snap. Oh, nope. We stopped. Looks like offsides.
Flags are all over the field.
And when we had a clock that wouldn't stop, the officials have decided to stop the clock with 37 seconds left.
Harry, both you and I have been on both sides of the field on these games. Kind of interesting.
It's neat. It really is. I enjoy it so much. So much history. So much community spirit.
This should be the final play of the game for Holy Spirit. Andrew Light under center. And Light keeps the ball, and he makes a nice little carry about 20 yards or so for Holy Spirit.
And that's going to be that.
That's going to be an end. And there's a flag on the play that's
why not
stops the game with.
The game clock does read 000, but there is a flag prior to that.
I think they're going to call it a day.
And that is the game. The flag's picked up.
The final score, Holy Spirit defeating Atlantic City here at Atlantic City High School by a score of 49-0.
And they have a 1-game winning streak now in the rivalry.
I just want to say, Joe, you did a really great job of the game, you know.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to work with both of you. And Harry, thank you for asking.
It's an honor. Honor to be with you, Joe, and Coach Lou. And I have to say, this is a beautiful, beautiful way to spend the early part of Thanksgiving. This is the thing I love to see is down the 50-yard line, Atlantic City meets Holy Spirit, great sportsmanship, great handshakes. And this is what it's all about. The fact that it was a 49-0 drubbing, the game never got sloppy. Think about that. Sometimes in a blowout, it gets nasty. You can have fights. This was very professional. And I have to say, Holy Spirit put on a masterclass here today.
Very good display on both sides of the ball. Offensively, they as we expected the game to go. They kept the ball on the ground using several different runners. They moved the ball very tremendously, and Atlantic City really couldn't do anything against the Holy Spirit defense, with the exception of one or two plays toward the end there.
And one of the things that, unfortunately, they did catch a bad break in terms of the wind being a factor in a throwing team, shotgun offense.
Exactly. Holy Spirit scored 7 touchdowns, 2 in the first quarter, 3 in the second quarter, 1 in the third quarter, 1 in the fourth quarter. They dominated both sides of the ball. Their time management, clock management, and time of possession, just incredible what they pulled off here today. And they were great on offense, and they were exceptional on defense. Is there an MVP in this game, or is it a team MVP?
I really have to say the way things worked, I'd call it a team MVP because
Me too.
we had a lot of great players on the Holy Spirit. The entire backfield did wonderful.
I also want to just note
I agree
that
with that also.
assistant coach Mike Eisenstein, Jack's son, assistant coach Mike Eisenstein, the defensive coach for Atlantic City High School, just came in the press box, shook Joe's hand, Coach Lou and my hand, and thanked us for the job that we did. And they never quit either. And we were right near the coaching staff, the defensive coaching staff. They never quit in this game. And that's tough, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
When you're giving up ground the way they were giving up ground, and you are trying on every single play, and it's 7-0, then it's 14-0, and 21, 28, 35, 42, 49. It can get demoralizing, and they never ever became unprofessional during this game. I really give them a lot of credit, and the way that these two teams conducted themselves today.
It was a great day for high school football on Thanksgiving Day here in South Jersey. It didn't come up close to the way Atlantic City hoped, but what a day for Holy Spirit High School, and we certainly wish them well in their playoff championship game coming up.
Brief post-game wrap-up. Let's get a comment from each of the broadcasters. Coach Lou?
I just want to say, as I look out there, how you kind of picked up on this, both teams are down at different ends of the field, and the coach is important what the message is that they're giving them. Holy Spirit continuing on, end of the season for Atlantic City, and you really need to send a really good message to your team.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Joe, your closing comments.
Just a wonderful day here with you guys here in the booth. A nice game on the field, even though it was lopsided. It was a very interesting game to watch, and this shows what's great about the Atlantic City area. Football on Thanksgiving Day.
Guys, in just 6 calendar days, we had the opposite experience. 1 year ago, yards were hard to come by, points were hard to come by, a very hard-fought, in-doubt 13-7 Atlantic City win, and they had eclipsed and broke a 7-game skid that they were on. Today, 49-0, Holy Spirit moving the ball at will.
Totally different game than last year.
Amazingly different. And I'll tell you what, next year is going to be different too, because these sophomores will now be juniors. Holy Spirit is going to graduate 26 seniors, but I'll tell you what, looked like they had a lot of depth come in off that bench, guys.
They do, and I'm expecting a big year from Atlantic City next year.
Me too. I think that everything that Coach Kelly did this year in terms of molding that talent, that underclassmen talent, now they're going to be upperclassmen. They're going to have all this experience. They're going to have big games like Eastern and this game to remember. And you can imagine Atlantic City, any players coming back from this year's team to next year's team, they're going to remember what happened here today.
Right.
And they're going to want to change that. Any final thoughts?
Happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Same here, Harry, and we're great, and Joe.
Thank you.
Coach Lou, it's always a verbal contract, but we extend this opportunity. Will you be with us 1 year from today at Storied Edburn Stadium?
Yes.
Joe Kelly?
Yes, it will be, Harry.
Thank you, sir. I'm Harry Hurley for Joe Kelly, Coach Lou Paludi, everyone here at the beautiful, beautiful Dr. Jack Eisenstein Stadium at Atlantic City High School. Have a blessed Thanksgiving, and I will be on the job tomorrow morning. Hurley in the morning. Joe Kelly?
I'll be on the job on Cat Country 107.3.
Outstanding. That's why you're number one, Joe. Enjoy your day, and we'll see you next year.